Hey, True Believers England team here, 9 o'clock on Monday. We do a live stream every week, and sometimes I'm like, what do we talk about? What do we talk about today? I want to talk about a comic book I just read, X-Men Hellfire Gala. I was told, check this out. It's awesome. There you go. All right. You could throw a bird. I was told it was an awesome book, and so I figured, okay, I'll jump back into new books, pick this one up, and so I'm going to talk about this. Obviously, we need to mention that Paul Rubin, otherwise known as Pee Wee Herman, passed away. He's got geek cred beyond just Pee Wee Herman too, because he was in the Mystery Men, which is based on an independent comic book. I was actually hit by this one. A lot of times it's celebrities, they pass same as everybody else, and especially the older ones. He was 70, but for some reason, I don't know. It's just he's kind of one of those forever young kind of celebrities. I'm not gonna act like he's the greatest actor that's ever walked the earth or anything like that, but I remember watching the show when HBO was new, and I had it. Hello to RDV. How you doing?
A little better today.
Yeah, and I liked all the stuff. I liked the little genie, Mecha Lecca High, Mecha Jaime Ho, and all that kind of stuff. And I enjoyed the movies. I actually enjoyed the movies, not just the Pee Wee's Big Adventure, but I like Big Top Pee Wee as well. So yeah, it was entertaining and enjoyable. So he hadn't been doing much recently, and we find out it's because he's been battling cancer, which of course he just lost the fight to. But rest in peace to Paul Rubens.
Yeah, saw that earlier today, and just now it makes sense why in Gotham he didn't look so well.
Yeah, well, there you go. He did what he could, right?
Yeah.
And he was in a couple other movies, not just the Pee Wee's Big Adventure. He's got one of my favorite lines. He was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the movie.
He's the usher, right?
No, he was the henchman vampire. So Rutger Hauer was the main vampire. He was the henchman, and he's looking at what's his name, Dylan. He also died from Beverly Hills 90210. Luke Perry. He's in it, and Paul Rubens, they got him cornered, and he tells all the vampires, kill him a lot. And I just kind of love that line. I just really like that little extra, kill him a lot, just go a little extra mile there. So yeah, like I said, rest in peace. He provided a lot of good entertainment.
Apparently he was roommates with David Hasselhoff back in the day.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
That's kind of funny.
The one thing cool about that is that he can be timeless. It's up to parents, of course, if they share the Pee Wee's Playhouse with their kids. My kids learned about the Monkees. I was a big Monkees fan, therefore my children were a big Monkees fan, because when they needed some show and I didn't want to watch Barney for the 900th time, I put on the Monkees, and they freaking loved it. Not just, of course, the zany antics, but the music and everything. It's really cool when you can.
I forgot. In back in the day, they had Batman the Brave and the Bold video game that came out on the Wii. He was he did the voice of Batmite.
Oh yeah. Oh, there you go. And Dave Sonowitz is actually saying that his death in Buffy the Vampire Slayer could actually be the longest death in history. He gets stabbed. He's just rolling around.
That's right. That was him.
And then he's the end credits as well, where he's like, oh, and he starts kicking the wall and everything. So
yeah, he's locked from Nightmare from Christmas.
You and Eric, who I don't know why he's decided not to show up on my live streams anymore, except for the auction. I don't know what I did to Eric. So it's starting to hurt a little bit, Mr. Breen. You guys recommended this book. You were talking, go try the X. Go, it's good. Let's read the X-Men Hellfire Gala, and so I just finished reading it. And I was looking for something to talk about. I said, why not? Let's talk about this book.
To me personally, it's not as good as the Castellucci Batgirl 50, but it's
what? Oh my gosh, I thought you would have liked it better than I did. That Batgirl 50 is in trash.
Yeah.
There's nothing redeemable about Batgirl 50, and you think this is worse?
No. I'm saying it's not. I think Batgirl 50 is worse than this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But when I say good, I mean, when I'm talking about these books, it means they're good to laugh at, because anybody who's invested their time in this are now playing because, oh no, they look what they did, everybody. You know, how could they do this? Misogynist, just to kill off all these people instantly. They're hating the people who usually praise Gary Duggan and all the the Vitas and the Danny Lores are upset that he pulled a right wing move and just killed all my favorites. Yes.
Yeah. I haven't heard any of that. Hey, Nerdette, jump Twitter. On for a bit.
I saw it on Twitter. A few people were upset about this. Really upset. But I'm thinking,
really?
For me, my understanding, the X-Men had infinite lives.
Yeah.
So nothing mattered.
Yeah, well, okay. So my personal relationship with the X-Men. By the way, I will check my X-Men, my email, Nerdette. Jump on and we could chat about it. But my personal relationship is I read the Hoxpox, the House of X, the Power of X.
Yeah.
I read the first few issues. It was boring to me. It was just bad. Every time I checked in on them, it was bad. At one point in time, they had Kitty Pryde. Oh, I'm a pirate. And she's actually dressed like a freaking 16th century pirate rather than, I mean, if she was going to be a pirate, why not dress like one modern day and just wear a t-shirt, shorts, and flip-flops? I mean, the freaking thing about pirates is it's changed. We're not driving wooden ships with cannons out the side of them anymore. No, and they have them dressed up like that because, I can't get in, so I'm going to be a pirate now. Not to mention the fact that they were kidnapping children. I mean, they literally made the X-Men into villains. So when I picked this up, I thought I went in so cynical. Okay, I am just so you told me it was good, but I'm like, I don't believe you. I do not believe. So I am going in like that. I try to not be biased, but I'm like, bullshit. No freaking way did they make a good X-Men book. It's impossible for Marvel to make a good X-Men book anymore. So that's actually how I walked into this. Like, there's no free. I was the black pill on this one. I don't know. I've been being the black pill on a few things recently. So I start reading this book, and the first part is dealing with Ms. Marvel right up. Oh, we don't know how you did it. We'll figure that later out. When we get some sort of narrative going, we'll write that part in later. But you're both an Inhuman and an X-Men. Let's explain why.
That was so weird. Like, these threw it in, and as soon as Ms. Marvel is like, telling everybody, I'm a secret mutant, and then death and destruction, genocide of mutants. Anybody shocked that the villain mutant was a villain mutant and turned on them?
Mm-hmm. Let me address Nerdette real quick. I'm absolutely A-okay with tomorrow. I am not I still can't make a fist all the way with my I'm not taking medication. I've drugged myself up. I am A-okay. Ready to go tomorrow. I'll set the alarm. 9 o'clock? What time should I be waking up to get onto your show? Let me know there, Nerdette. We're going to be arguing about how wrong she is about Barbie, and that, as usual, I am correct. It's true. I'm just right most of the time. What can I say? I'm right about this freaking book too.
There's no right or wrong. Just the people who didn't.
No, that's
see
it.
People did.
10:15. All right. Well, what is TISM? I don't know what TISM is.
Thank you so much.
Oy vey. He will be the one snoring on camera. Right.
Yeah. So I don't know. My whole take on this whole X-Men thing is like, I
don't want to do this anymore.
Then don't do it anymore.
Hello. Okay. We're talking. All right.
Okay.
I was actually asking for Tristan to come on, but this is the me and VENKMAN show here. Me and Tristan had some business to do.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go. All right.
Yep.
Have a good one. I'm sorry to do that to him, but you and we got some words since you sent me into this book. Yeah.
I kind of feel bad because for me, it was just so random. The only reason I read it because I read the Iron Man story, which is slightly connected to it. It takes place afterwards, and it just felt kind of weird not reading it because and then as soon as I think they even mentioned like something happened, like the mutants were attacked by this Stark Sentinels. So I'm like, Krakoa Island was attacked, not, and then like and Emma's on the run. I was like, now I want to see this. Like,
hold. Can I mean I'm my OCD's popping up really. TY, I am so bad with abbreviations. What is TYSM? I'm thinking thank you. Is that thank you so much?
Yeah.
Is that it? Oh, okay. All right. I'm horrible with that. I'm still trying to figure out FBI and CIA. I'm pretty sure that FBI is in fact federal body, female body inspector or something like that. I don't know. You never heard that joke? I am absolutely horrible with.
We have T-shirts that says that. People wear that.
I know. So if I'm seeing, I'm literally wondering what's TISM, and I can't get it out of my head until I figure it out. Okay, there you go. I'm sorry. I guess it's thank you so much. I don't. All right. Anyway, back to the book. We're back to the book, guys. Professionalism. We're gonna show professionalism here. So, okay, you please continue.
So, man, I decided, I'll just fire up the Ilho host site because I'm not gonna go spend over how much it is for an X-Men book.
It's like $10. It's $10 now to tickle your senile mother.
You beat me to it.
She's over 70, but she's got it going on more than I do sometimes. Fat, bald, and ignorant, is Maranya saying. Yeah. What are you trying to say, Ms. Maranya? But yeah, this comic is $10, man. How can you be, I'm sure it's got to be kids, right? The Gen Z, they don't know better. And I've been insulting Gen Z for a while, all day long, because my niece is here. She's 16. She's Gen Z.
Isn't there now? Are we past Gen Z now?
I don't know. Is her? She's 16. Is she still Gen Z or is it a new one?
She's still Gen Z.
Yeah. But point being though is by me saying they don't know better is we are of course older, and the older you get, the less you had to pay at some point in time for comics. And when I started collecting comics, there's only 35 cents. I don't know why I put all the.
I admit, I do not. I haven't read anything since Hox Pox. It was cool to see Wolverine ride a Sentinel head into the sun, and as an Elseworld story. But then it came to the point where they just kept dying and being revived, dying and being revived. It got annoying. I've been told by two other people that said, "Oh, but no, see, that's what they're able to do creative stories by killing them off and bringing them back together." Like, no, that's not creative. That's lazy writing.
It really is, and ultimately it gets boring, and you realize that there are no real stakes. They think that because they could kill them off, there's more stakes to it. But if they can just revive them, no, I'm sorry, you took away all the suspense. It doesn't. After a while, you just realize it doesn't matter if they get killed because tomorrow they're in the next issue. Yeah, that's one of the things.
Or they're another title, and there's no continuity.
Yeah, that's one of the things I think that really comic books have to back themselves up on. Now, once again, this could be because I've got some gray in my beard, definitely not on my head because I don't have any hair.
No,
but you need to back it up a bit and take away resurrection in all forms. It started, of course, with Phoenix. Big story. Yeah. She died. It was one of the greatest X-Men stories of all time. They decided they wanted to bring back the original X-Men, so they have to bring back Jean Grey. She's resurrected.
Yeah.
And now they're not the only. Now, you could even go back further than that if you want somebody who died, but then they wrote him back in. Joker died in his first appearance, and they wrote him back in, but it really took off with the Jean Grey.
The only time resurrections work,
that death was meaningless. Go on
the
ahead.
only time constant resurrections work is when it's Resurrection Man.
Yeah,
that's the only time you should be doing a constantly. If that's a concept, but the X-Men were written like villains, pretty much. They were almost kind of like bigots towards humans. Teaming, they had all mutants on one island, and if you're not one of us, it's like they kind of look down on you, and it's like I never got that whole concept, but I mean, Duggan took the story, the X-Men in a different direction after Hickman left.
Well, and we're gonna get into this whole thing. I do want to mention also, talking about the whole, you got to take away the stakes. You got to make them have stakes again. You got to take away the resurrection in order for us to actually feel these. Did anyone for 1 second think that Ms. Marvel was going to stay dead beyond those dumbasses on Twitter?
Well, it's good thing you bring that up, because I don't think all the mutants were supposedly they went to the portal were basically leading to a meat grinder on the other side. I don't think they're dead. I think they're going to be brought back. Of course not. I have no doubt that we're going to see all of them again. But right now, as it is, there are Emma Frost and a few others are basically denied access going to the portals to get back onto the Coca-Cola Island. So they have no way of reviving anybody. So
ultimately, and we are, I guess we're skipping to past the end of this with this conversation, but and by the way, spoilers for those of you who haven't read it yet, think you are going to read it and want to go in blind. There's no way to talk about this book really without doing some sort of spoilers anyway. But when you get back to they had apparently killed off a whole bunch of mutants, and I know, and maybe this is me being cynical, maybe this is 53 years of well, actually only 46 now years worth of no, what is it? I started at 4 and 53. It's 49 years. Holy shit, I'm almost 50 years in reading comics. Anyway, it is, yes, I'm old. All right, but it might just be those many years watching this happen over and over again that they are going to come up with a way. Oh, we told you they were put into a meat grinder. We told you that they all died, but really they went off to Dimension Zumba or whatever it is. And they're going to come back, or they'll come back one at a time as we hear about their journey from, I went through the candy cane forest and into the, that, like freaking Elf, talking about how they made the journey. But if you're talking about, do I think they killed off every mutant, but like what, 12 or 13 of them? Hell no. There's cash cows that have to be milked.
Yeah. So what do you think of Kingpin Light here?
Kingpin Light. Okay, let me tell you something about. So I'm reading Daredevil. I'm actually liking Daredevil, and then these twins come in to New York into Hell's Kitchen, and they make the Kingpin get onto his knees and cry. And I was like, you know what?
Yeah, the reason I say Kingpin Light, it's not Kingpin, but it's a guy who looks exactly like Kingpin, but he's flamboyant as fuck.
Right. Yeah, because they don't know how to write characters anymore. Well, like I said, I've been saying for the last 6 or 8 years now, they do not find the voice of the character. They put their own voices in the character. Kingpin knows. Yeah. That is the Kingpin. Kingpin knows.
Yeah.
These people had been planning something world freaking wide. Kingpin knows. They're dealing with the underworld. There's no way that the Kingpin would not have some inkling that something was going to happen at that party that night. He would not have allowed his girlfriend. It's Mary. It's Typhoid Mary. He would not have allowed her to be out of his sight, because he would have known something is going to go down. He might not have known what, but he would have heard rumblings. That's the Kingpin's character. He's got his finger in all of the pies. That is what makes him awesome. But we see them time and again do this. We saw it actually in the movies or the TV show, Secret War or whatever it was, Secret Invasion. I'm sorry, but no, Nick Fury doesn't get so freaking depressed that he doesn't know. That's his power as well. He's one of the people who will always be able to beat the super people, because he thinks 12 steps ahead. And that's how the Kingpin should have been. Now, the Kingpin did get one good scene where I forget who was being attacked, and he just grabs him by the throat and goes, "No, we're not doing that." You know, I thought that was pretty good. Matt, Kingpin and Typhoid Mary are dating. She started off being one of the assassins.
I think they're actually married.
Are they married now? Okay,
and
yeah, I
stopped.
stopped.
Yeah, they left.
When you have the king, the only way the Kingpin is getting on his knees to cry to somebody is if he's about to nut punch him.
That was during Zdarsky's first run when he's the mayor, but then he got defeated. Now Luke Cage is the mayor of New York.
Right.
Because
they're killing pod people. Jim's right, by the way. The X-Men that died, they're the pod people X-Men. They're the copy of the copy of the copy.
Yeah.
If you've ever photocopied a photocopy of a photocopy, it ain't coming out clear. Yeah. Let's see. They love making twin characters villains. See Wanda and Pietro in the early days. Also the Mars twins. That's true. Who were the ones that Fenris, I think, they clasped hands and then they could affect the Earth's core? Like, guys, no. Think about the mutant powers you're giving people.
So I'm missing something else in here too. Apparently, there's time travel now that they can do in the X-Men stuff, because now they have this woman who basically looks like Colossus, but she's Rasputin the Fourth.
Yeah, I saw Rasputin 4. I was like, oh, don't tell me they freaking sex swapped Colossus here, and it turns out she's from the future or something like that.
And I know she says like, oh, it just goes up to Miss Marvel. He's like, and it's like, hi, Miss Marvel, the First. She's like, I know your stories well. An Inhuman, a Muslim, a mutant, a human, a savior. All the trade. Oh, savior.
I know. Like Ms. Marvel's the most important person in the Marvel universe in 5 years. Okay, let's talk about Ms. Marvel for once again. No freaking way did anybody here believe that Ms. Marvel was dead. And that's part of the problem. It's part of the reason why that shitty Spider-Man book was a shitty Spider-Man book, because they were, oh, no, she died. Bullshit. She's back in 3 months. There's a freaking movie coming out. No way they're going to kill her 3 months before a movie without bringing her back. And they said, well, how can we do it in the dumbest way possible? And they came up with the Inhuman / X-Men. Well, what's my mutant power? Oh, we don't know. And you know what? I actually believe they're telling the truth. I actually believe Jerry Dugan had no clue what her mutant power was. They're going to figure it out. There's going to be, and it can't be like right away. I was like, okay, I guess I can see this. The Inhuman power, because she got her Inhuman power first, would be the whole stretchy embiggen thing, and her mutant power, which manifests after the Terror Mist, was that she's got the same power as Mystique. So you could say, yeah, because if you remember in the first, well, I don't know if y'all read it, but in the first issue or the first appearance of Ms. Marvel, she transforms into not transforms into Carol Danvers, but makes herself look like Carol Danvers. And she did that in the Spider-Man comic where she died as well, when she made herself look like MJ. And you could just go right like that. Oh, I've got the embiggen power, and I've also got the transformative power. But no, what they're going to do is it's going to be Apocalypse. He's about to kill everybody. And all of a sudden she's got this death blast or a one punch that can knock Apocalypse on his ass, because you can't have any regular, just kind of median level superheroes anymore. They've always got to be like ultimately super powerful.
So basically, going through this book here, we got their little conversation there. Then Magic shows up, and then he shows Bobby, who looks like a gay version of Eminem, next to his boyfriend, I guess, whoever this. I'm not sure. Guy in the trench coat.
Yeah, some gay guy.
And then we see Kingpin with his giant peacock feathers on his suit with his wife, my friend Mary. Okay, so that's where they went to. Okay, whatever. Then you see the Avengers there, of course. You know, you see that I guess it's supposed to be Sam.
Yeah.
In a weird outfit.
It was half the Captain and Falcon thing, and then half a regular blue suit.
Yeah. And he had Thor there, and T'Challa, and Carol, and Wanda. And then so they get alert Avengers call. It's supposed to tie into the Uncanny Avengers comic book they issue came out about last month. So then Rogue, she gets a frequency, she has to leave too. So this is how Rogue survives. So I was like, please don't kill off Rogue at least, you know, kill off everybody else. All the other ones, no one cares about. At this point, I don't care about Jubilee. I don't care about Dazzler.
I do.
Like,
I care about Dazzler. She looked dumb as hell in that blue freaking thing. But I think the Hellfire Gala stuff, it's been bad since the beginning. And we did videos talking about how stupid the costumes were.
After this, you see like Jean Grey's like, everybody's attention. I'm going to introduce you to the new X-Men, and and then they're instantly just slaughtered. Yeah, like the next page, like but let's talk. They're going to have someone named Talon, Sync, Prodigy, Frenzy. Hey, it's Cannibal. He's back, and Dazzler too, and Jubilee, and the Juggernaut's on there, and then they're just murdered by Nimrod.
I love the fact that we brought back a Sentinel that can kill mutants. I wanted that. I wanted danger back into the X-Men, and if we're getting that, cool. Good job on you, Jerry Dugan. Just write better books than what you did here. I got to tell you, I did actually enjoy the slaughter, but that's because I was watching a whole bunch of people who used to be something worth reading die.
Well, my thing is, if you're going to stand around in a book for $10, just sit there and look at a formal Gala thing, that's stupid. You're humans. This is supposed to be an action book. Well, now we got the action, and I gotta say, the best death goes to Iceman. He literally gets his eyes melted out by Nimrod, and just melts.
It looks like he was melted somehow. And okay, cool. I mean, hey, does that? And here's the big problem that I had. This could be a good book if they were going to stay dead. If they were actually going to stay dead, even if they decide for the next 5 years you don't see these characters, this is a good book. But I'm going in cynical as hell. I'm going in with the idea that there ain't no way they're leaving these characters dead. None. It's not happening. In 5 months, maybe 6, you're gonna have everybody back together.
So then the Sentinels start attacking the island. Sinister shows up with some weird looking chick that looks like an Karima Shapender. I'm not sure if she was the one that was in the Hoxpox. She looks familiar. So everybody starts getting slaughtered more and more. And this basically they'll reveal that MODOK is there too. Yeah. And probably the best thing about this, other than everybody just being instantly just slaughtered and butchered, is the fact we actually get to see Charles Xavier take out the stupid helmet.
Oh God, what a dumbass look that was. Thank you. So I'm glad someone else said it, because he looked stupid as in that helmet. It was just dumb. It was like ultimately stupid looking. I got to tell you, I have zero. It's dripping here. I have zero freaking respect for what happened to the X-Men for the last what's it been, 15 years? When was the last time we actually saw the X-Men? I'm thinking the Grant Morrison run of the 2000s, the Astonishing X-Men.
2012.
2012, yeah.
Somewhere on there.
It's kind of like with Captain America. Haven't really seen Captain America since he got shot in the head after his Civil War. Oh, okay.
So then we get a little team up. We get Kitty Pryde phasing through one of the Sentinels' head, blowing it up. King Kid gets his ass kicked, which is why that was funny.
Kitty Pryde should not be able to do that to a Sentinel.
Phase through? She can phase through.
No. I mean to blow it up. Sentinels. The big thing about Sentinels is you can only affect them the one time. She's done this before, so they should have a defense against it.
Yeah, I mean, if the guy who created it, I forgot what, Fei Long, knows about this, he's a recently new villain. So unless he didn't do his research, then it's possible, I guess. But so anyway, after that, we get a almost like a Miss Marvel and the Rasputin, whatever from the future, take down a Sentinel. Juggernaut gets launched towards Nimrod, and then he goes as he's just butchered by Nimrod in one single giant blast.
Whom?
Juggernaut gets killed by Nimrod.
Oh, by Nimrod. I thought like they did the I'm gonna kill you run towards each other.
He basically he kind of almost did almost like a final flash for those who know.
Yeah, and then he did the big laser blast, and the next thing you see him dragging his body. I do have a question about Ms. Marvel, and I thought about this in that Death of Ms. Marvel Spider-Man book. Is she being drawn to look like she's 28 to you guys, or is it just me?
Oh, that was in the X-Men, when she was in the Death, in Spider-Man issue.
Mm-hmm.
I could have sworn she was no longer 15, 16. It
looked like they aged her up.
It aged her up. It was really weird, and I forgot who drew it. I think was it Junior? Was something else? I can't remember. Anyway, but yeah, even in this, she looks a little older. But yeah, like I said, it's this whole entire thing, and as Ash is pointing out, none of this matters. It's a fun to watch it being butchered, but they'll probably be back. Yeah. I'd be shocked if they just keep most of the. Because basically, you're going to go back to remember No More Mutants, and there was hardly any mutants. Hope Summers.
As far as the art goes, I do remember. I mean, even the John Byrne years, they're supposed to be 19 and 20. These kids, the X-Men, and all of them look like they're 35. So it's not the first time a character was drawn old.
Yeah, Phoenix is standing next to Charles Xavier, and then Moira McTaggart jumps out from nowhere and basically this was a stake through the back Jean Grey's back, killing her, and she's like, "Look at me, Charles! Look what I've done, and see what has happened to the one you love the most." We knew it. We called it back in the early X-Men. He had a thing for Jean.
Yeah, that's been that. I think they in one of the old. I don't know if John Byrne was on yet. I don't think so, but it was one of the old Chris Claremont. I think Dave Cockrum books. The one where they're pushing the. I think it's the Beast and Jean Grey, and they're pushing Charles Xavier, and it's got the faces of the other mutants because they think all the X-Men are dead at that point. Yeah. But I think they kind of allude to the point that that Jean Grey or Professor Xavier had a thing for Jean Grey back then too.
Yeah, while Jean's dying, we see that Cyclops is paralyzed, can't move his legs, and he's laying there.
And he says, "Why can't I feel you?" But my whole thing was, okay, so Moira shows up with a knife. Why didn't Jean just telekinesis her ass? I mean, she can literally stop the knife from penetrating her skin, and then she just tosses her aside. She's supposed to be an Omega level mutant, but she's stopped by anything that a 7-Eleven thief can do. I was thinking, nope, I'm not buying it. Just not buying it this time.
So Xavier he's basically threatened by Moira with a dagger to his throat, and he says to tell them to stop. Orders the X-Men to stop, and we see them. Oh, they got their eyes glazed over, like they're in telepathic control. Xavier's got his helmet off, Sinister, and like it's just the point where everyone was already slaughtered. I gotta say the art wasn't bad in this book. I'll give you that. No. The coloring was pretty good too. But it's weird seeing Sinister dressed down normal. He looking like he's a Hollywood celebrity. You see him in the hat. You see him. He's sitting down at a cafe. He's got one of those fedora hats on, and he's got the long hair. He's got like those 80s, remember those jackets, the 80s jackets, the poofed ones the guys would wear, and they'd have like a white t-shirt under there. They'd have the black sports coat. Yeah. That's what it looks like he's wearing. You know,
I don't know. Who was the guy who I thought it was Sinister who set all of this up, but he was. That's Mr. Sinister.
Yeah.
I thought they called him something different. But I was actually surprised to find out that it was. But I don't know. This is the first new comic book that I've read. Really, I've read a couple of them here or there, but I read since the death of Ms. Marvel. And I got to tell you something. This year ain't shaped up too well, did it? But don't worry, I'm going to read some better books. I'm going to check out the Night Terrors next. So
he says we hacked. He says we hacked more than just your medicines. We also hacked your gates. Right out now, they're all pointed off Earth. We will kill no more humans if you leave. Yeah, Nightcrawler just went on an assassination spree, and a mutant clone caused inferno in New York again, and your drugs were poison.
When is freaking Nightcrawler a bad guy?
Well, I love what Sinister says. This is a cancer surgery, and Charles, you are the cancer.
Yeah. When did Nightcrawler become a bad guy? He was like godly. He was the religious one. He was the incorruptible. And now they've got him. Oh, he's old assassins. How do you go from giant size X-Men to he's assassinating people, random people? Goodness gracious. This book's, yeah. My advice, remove the StreamYard link. What StreamYard link?
But
oh, the one I put in the
no, once it's in, you can't delete it.
It's the yeah, I put that there for Tristan. Has he still not figured out they're all bad guys? I get, well, no, actually, that's one of the reasons why I stopped reading, is because they were writing them all as villains. I mean, once you start kidnapping kids, oh, they're a mutant, they belong on the island.
No. Majority of the mutants on here on the X-Men here now are villains, and then there's real villains. You know, it's it got the point where you couldn't even tell who was the villain anymore. It's Sinister. They were chummy with Apocalypse, Sinister, and Nimrod, and all these other ones. And then you had for a while we had Dark Beast, Evil Beast. It was the point where it's just when you make them all like activists, but I mean not like in a good way, heroes. They could be. It's like when we had issue of was it not Connell, but it was John Superboy. And remember you saw him, he's picketing while there's a giant octopus behind him. That became the X-Men.
The writers of bad guys, says Matt.
Yeah, true.
You know what? I saw an interview with Todd McFarlane. He was talking about Venom. And he mentioned how he hated the fact that they turned Venom into an anti-hero, because you very rarely get new great villains. You name the great villains. You could probably come up with, you got a ton that happened in the 50s. You got a ton that happened, or the 40s. You have a ton that happened in the 60s. You got a lot that happened in the 70s, a few that happened in the 80s, a little less than 90s. Yeah, but as we went on, there aren't a lot of great villains created. So here comes Venom. Yeah, and he's a great villain for Spider-Man. He's a scary villain, and they turn him into an anti-hero, and they seem to want to do this with the freaking X-Men over and freaking over again, where for a while Magneto, he wasn't really a villain, and then Sabretooth, no. So
Nathaniel, then when it's revealed that Nathaniel has copied himself, Mr. Sinister, Dr. Stasis, and a spacefaring version of himself called Orbis Stellaris. Basically, it's a female version of Mr. Sinister. Another one.
Gotcha. Okay.
And she's called herself Mother Righteous. She's red. This call her Mother Love.
There you go. I would like to see villains again. I mean, I've been saying this for quite a while. For a while, since Civil War, there was a time where it was just hero versus hero, hero versus hero, hero versus hero. Also, it's time to stop making these villains good guys. It's start making them bad guys again. Go on ahead. Sorry.
Can we also get rid of this stupid thing where you have to show like documents? You have to read like a paragraph. There's no nowadays. It's just words. The X-Men secret weapon or triangle protocol for defense.
Oh, you mean like those white pages?
Yeah, dossiers. Yeah, they show.
Never read a one. Never read a one. I'm sorry, but no.
It started with X-Men, and now I'm seeing it in other books too.
Yeah, nope.
It's like I don't understand that. To me, it's like, well, we'll get rid of the artist for at least one page and pay him less. And
maybe, yeah, it's one less page we have to pay the artist for. It's ridiculous. No, that's not true. I did read when I read the Hoxpox. I read those, and then I realized, no, I'm good. If you're not going to show me what's in the comic, it's not necessary to the story. So yeah, not a big fan. This was, I wish I could say good things. Look, I like the slaughter at the end. Okay, you get good action. I have no illusions that these characters are dead. So ultimately, this was a flat and empty book.
It's basically, what if one of the X-Men were betrayed by one of their villains?
I know, right?
And he wins.
You mean a villain is going to act like a villain? Look, there's some things I would have. You know what would have made this good? Had it been human, had it been humanity who took over the island.
Oh my gosh! Had it been the Fist that betrayed them all and killed them.
Where,
Fist, awesome.
Yeah, well, he could have been leading the charge or whatever. Point being is that considering the X-Men were stealing children, considering that they were basically holding Earth hostage, yeah, it would have been nice to have humanity step in and take it back and show that, yeah, that's not going to happen, guys. It's not going to happen with the X-Men. It's not going to happen with any of you other supers. Make an example of them and say, look, no. Don't run away. You know what you just did. You know, on live freaking TV too. What do you think? Don't look at me like that. Don't. Okay, I can't stay mad at you. He just pooped on me. You saw him back up. Anywho, I don't know.
So a group of mutants basically were teleported along with Wilson Fisk and stuff to Emma Frost to the New York City's old Hellfire Club, and that's where they're holding out now. And Mystique's dead. The one that should have died is Destiny. Somehow she survived. She's somewhere.
Oh, she probably saw it coming. but her and Mystique were fighting. But, so maybe she didn't tell Mystique because she was mad at her during their fight.
But Firestar's evil too in this, apparently.
No. Remember, Phoenix pulls her aside and says, "I need you to." Oh,
that's right. Yeah.
So she is a spy. Go figure.
Juggernaut.
What is wrong with you? No? Once every 15 minutes. That's what the book promised. Get the heck away. What are you doing? Go fly away somewhere. Go back to your cage. Go on.
So, by the most hilarious scene of the whole entire book is Emma Frost. She's like, I'm gonna go back on the island and then do the portal, and she smacks her face right into
the gate.
Wall.
Yeah, and they find out that they don't open anymore. Yeah.
So she turns around and her nose is bleeding because she's like, what the hell? So, and I love what Rachel says. So that's how it looked when it happened to Rachel.
It happened to her.
Yeah, remember Rachel Pride, Kitty Pride was a design entry. She walked into it, smacked her face into it.
Oh, okay.
And no one cared back then. So I think it's funny. I think she's just rubbing salt into the wound.
Twiddles once Bronze Age X-Men talk. Okay. We'll get to that sometime, dude. We need to talk about some good comics at this. We'll bring up some older stuff. Jack Kirby month starts tomorrow.
Yeah. So the humans are killed because Sinister lied. Yeah. Rogue tries.
I think that's all. If they actually make this a thing, then in all honesty, it should be. It's funny how they come up with these idiotic and stupid crossovers. Here they have Mr. Sinister basically doing a Thanos and wiping out a certain population of humanity. This is the story. This is the story that logically goes across the entire Marvel universe, and yet this isn't your big event. So this isn't your big crossover.
So the new thing coming after this is Miss Marvel, the New Mutants. Just call it New Mutants. I don't care at this point.
New Mutants. Yeah. I don't care.
Written by Iman Vellani and Sabir Razada. I've never heard of these people. Must be just.
Yeah. It's not this thing. I don't care.
I guess it's gonna be like three series.
They screwed up so much. I don't care.
So so I love to tell you at the end. This is what you should be reading next. X-Men 25, Astonishing Iceman. Why would I want to read Astonishing Iceman unless it's going to lead up to his death? Ghost Rider Wolverine. Vengeance of Alpha Flight.
Considering what happened to Iceman in this one, read Astonishing Iceman next, he's not dead. They mess everything up just by saying
it's a prequel.
This should have been flat out. If they wanted people to buy into this, they needed to do either reboots or skip a month or two. That way, you give people a holy shit sort of feeling and then it's a okay, this is what's going on with the X-Men characters.
So a lot of people who liked this current version of X-Men were appalled that Gary Duggan did this. How dare he? We had a brand new team, and just slaughtered, all of them instantly. They didn't deserve that. Blah blah blah. And I'm just thinking, well, now you know I've been feeling for the past 10 years with Spider-Man. He didn't deserve to lose his marriage, you bastards. Yeah. You guys are gobbling up that shit too.
Is the whole thing? They've never read a comic book before. Yeah. They don't know about this kind of thing. What's up?
So apparently Magneto called it back in X-Men Red #7. His dying word says, "I fear it will come soon. Our enemies will strike, and Charles will feel forced by events to act. He'll martyr us all. He's a good man, Aurora." But whatever. But it was like, it's just funny because I was like, Magneto's been right about a lot of things, but Sinister, you never should allow him anywhere near mutants, because the guy is proven to be a dick, no matter what story he's in.
Now, Jim's pointing out that this could be time correcting itself. Rachel Summers stopped Days of Future Past, therefore this is the way it begins. Once again, I have no faith. I have none. I'm sorry, but in order for them to follow this story up properly, this has to go straight across the Marvel Universe. Every bit of the Marvel Universe has to feel the fact that someone in that area, even if it's, say, Hell's Kitchen for Daredevil, and it's nobody Matt Murdock knows, someone in the neighborhoods has taken the medicine. Someone in New York has taken the medicine to the point where it's affecting them. And this is the new crossover. It is now humans versus mutants because of what Sinister did. And when people find out, oh, wait, it wasn't the X-Men, who freaking cares? It was still mutants. At this point on, in order for this one book to look good and to be good, they need to put the entire Marvel Universe into a war where it's humans versus mutants.
They need is a crisis in Marvel. Copy DC. And just
wipe everything out.
Yeah.
Let's see. Undead Quinn, there's so many unresolved plot threads in the old books that could use competent writers to fix the current mess. I'm pretty sure Chris Claremont left 60 or 70 different threads. Do I believe that Spider-Man would be pissed at the X-Men? Well, you know how it is. Do I think narratively? Yes. Do I think in the world of comics? No.
In his current books, he's too busy dealing with Paul. He's nowhere. There's nowhere. I don't think he's. See, that's the thing. I don't think that the storyline's even going to affect anything that's going on Amazing Spider-Man, because Zeb Wells is too busy butchering Peter Parker's life. Because now Mary Jane has her own super power costume, or she's a superhero now.
Considering in Civil War II, you have Captain Marvel putting Tony Stark into a coma, and then later, oh, you're one of the greatest Avengers, Carol. No, look, I've thought this way my entire life. Me and my cousin, best friends in the world. We fought, and then we talked about the fight. Like, holy shit, you punched me in the. Why'd you do? That's just punching in the face. This is, you put me in coma, you're no longer my friend. And they do this all the time in comics, where people are actually going after them with some serious heat. And then next thing you know, oh, you're one of the best. No, let's have them address that kind of stuff. Spider-Man should be incredibly pissed at the X-Men. Spider-Man should be scared of the X-Men and treat them thusly. So but that's just me.
So I was reading more into this. This is all Charles Xavier's fault, basically. He's the reason for all this because he invited Sinister to join the Council at the Cocoa Island.
Yeah, which is a dumb fucking idea.
This is the first time Xavier has been a bad guy and caused the death of mutants.
At the beginning, those of us who are the ists and the phobes of the world who look at comics and go, you know what, guys, you're messing up. We were saying, why is Apocalypse on the island? Why is Mr. Sinister on the island? You've got the worst of the worst on the island. Well, all mutants are welcome. Why? Why are all mutants welcome? When you know that just like regular humanity, some mutants are dicks. Some mutants are criminals. Some mutants are genocidal. So it never made sense from the very beginning that that they would allow these characters onto the island. So ultimately, yeah, this is one of those things where they wrote Xavier incredibly stupid, not blind to a better future or anything like that. This is just very, very stupid. And this isn't in one book. This isn't in the book we're talking about, the Hellfire Gala. This is within the entire run where they're on this stupid island. I would have liked it, but my story would have been it's the island that's controlling people. That when they get on there, they kind of get this euphoria. They create a cult out of it. They bring all the mutants in. You will have some mutants who are resistant to it. And that's where Xavier comes in, because the island gave him superdose so he could infect other people. And then you have to deal with, I guess, Earth. You know, you have to get the island. They have to do something about Krakoa itself. But the way they did this, I'm sorry. No, stop making Charles Xavier stupid. They used to do this in the past where, oh, we've got this big old crisis. Well, I'll just have Charles Xavier mental them away. And, oh, no, we got to knock Charles Xavier in the back of the head. Like every time they went off, they were going to face something like that. Charles is always in a coma or he's missing. Go on.
It was X-Men 3 or 4 when he did the Blob and the circus buddies. He basically mind wiped them. Yeah, he said, "I'll never do it again." Well, that didn't last.
And since then, anytime a situation came up in the Claremont and Cockrum years and the Claremont and Byrne years, anytime a situation came up, Charles Xavier would be taken out of the picture before anything happened, because they know ultimately Charles Xavier is his power would allow him to take care of the problem all by himself. Let's see. Let's get some of these. Wasn't the plan to basically have the mutants stop the machines? What in this one? You're still talking like they aren't all villains. Oh yeah. Okay, we read that one. Come on, Eglinton. Professor X has been the villain since the Ultimate Universe. Yeah, they've been passing that one off since the 1980s, the one where you see Rachel and she's got everybody in the psychic bubble. There was rumors that the reason why the X-Men had joined the X-Men is that Charles Xavier put the thought into their minds. Let's see. All mutants are welcome because this is a book glorifying ethno-fascism. Okay.
Like I said, this book is pointless because they're already scheduled to return. Iceman's gonna be alive. Jean's gonna be alive again. You know, they already have upcoming books. They're talking about it. It's like it's pointless. Why kill them off? And like, so I don't. I don't know. Unless you're just supposed to be gore porn for Doug, Gary Duggins. But it is just pointless, and this is why I just stopped reading the X-Men. At least this version of the X-Men. I've been reading the 90s stuff, and I enjoy that. But a little bit of the 80s too. And we've also been reading the current, or not the current, but the first X-Men issues on the channel. And I know, so I'm learning more and more. But like this is what I've learned is that Charles always betrays the X-Men, and someone dies. Yeah. So it's this recycled shit.
Professor X hitting the head so many times he's an eggplant. In House of X, says Tevia, the plan was supposed to have the mutants fight the machines and try to win. Okay, I forgot that. Let's see. How do you feel about Mara being a villain? I don't like it at all. She was one of the good ones, and I don't get the turn. So it's Krakoa says Jim took the actual mutants and is using them for energy. It decided to make the pod people so no one would notice. That is a great idea. Hello, Bird.
Yeah, as far as Iceman coming back to life, or some of these another ones, is that because we have a double agent on there, we have Firestar. Firestar could bring him back somehow, but I thought it took like a couple different mutants to actually do the process. At least took like 3 or 4 or 5 of them with their powers.
Oh yeah, they call them the 5 or something. Yeah. I haven't seen what the Cosmic Ghost Rider yet, Undead Quinn. I'm not against it. I'll try to check it out. I really do want to do the Night Terrors because I heard they are not good. So it is. I know we should be reading things we like, but I've got a YouTube channel. And
I couldn't really even put this on the Gabbies.
Negative cells.
No.
Say again.
This would be on Spirit Watch for me. This issue.
But the Night Terrors?
No, this the one we're talking about here, the Hellfire Gala. That'd be on the Spirit Awards. Because I enjoyed it.
Tevia is asking, do we believe that Marvel will pull the trigger and try to make Ms. Marvel the most important mutant and human hybrid? Because I found that to be bullshit. In all honesty, I do. And I will explain why. Because Brie Larson fucked up. Seriously. One thing, and I've noticed it at the auctions, the movies really do affect the comics and comics, the way people are looking at comic books. If the movie is really bad, it's hard to sell the comic. And even if it's a back issue where it's actually good, it's hard to sell the comic because all of a sudden there's a bad taste in the mouth. And Brie Larson, I think, has actually done damage to Carol Danvers. And I'm not talking about just Captain Marvel. I think I think Brie Larson has actually done damage to Carol Danvers. There might be a few issues I could get rid of, but it's hard. It's hard to sell Carol Danvers these days.
Yes, Fragger are the 5. Greg, Dana, Geraldo, Dan Waters, and Judge Sheeny from the 5.
I see what you did. Doug Ramsey is the only one immune because his techno-organic nature and is trying to contact the exiles. Okay, what are we doing there?
I don't know about that, but to me, it's like Nimrod supposed to be so OP that he's basically the equivalent of being Doomsday.
Oh yeah, Nimrod is a Sentinel from the future, so he's a few years advanced. I like the fact that you do have somebody this badass for the X-Men to fight. God damn, we need people that they could actually take on. If you got Apocalypse picking freaking roses on Krakoa, and the last time I really did see him within any series was that X-Man comic where it was like psychedelic love Apocalypse. What the fudge are y'all doing to this character? Serious. It was not a good one. But yeah, that wasn't that. It was bad. I think it was the Age of the X-Man or something like that. I do not recommend. Don't recommend it.
There's too many different stories for X-Men that are Elseworlds. I've noticed that. They feel that way.
That actually happened with the Avengers. I could not remember. You were recommending an Avengers, like it was a miniseries, but you're like, holy crap, this is really good. This is really good. And at the time, the Avengers had like 5 miniseries out. I could never keep straight which was which.
Oh, I'm trying to remember.
Same happened with Batman. Remember, we had the One Dark Knight, which was the Black Label, and then there was the one with the guy who was like, "Oh, Batman said, you know what? Crime's good tonight. You guys are marginalized, therefore."
That was Batman Fortress.
Yeah, I forgot the freaking title. And then Tom King had a
War Across Time
at the same time.
Yeah, so Avengers War Across Time is the one we're talking about. That's
okay. Yeah, I lost track. I was like, "Yep, they don't want me to read it. I won't read it." So that's
the ending was kind of stupid, but overall, Avengers War Across Time was fun.
Man,
Batman Fortress is non-canon. It has nothing to do with it, but the one I was talking about is it's unusual for the Batman miniseries, 3-issue that was by Jock. That's the one where he's trying to, I forget what it's called, but he was trying to basically escort this villain.
That was the One Dark Knight. That's the
One Dark Knight, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one that takes place.
That was fun.
is the. I'm gonna pull an
I love Jacques' art on in the book.
Yeah, this one.
Yep.
Yeah. I can actually do like Eric Breen did. Oh, I got this one right here. Yay. Yeah, that one was pretty good. And but oh gosh, those were horrible. It wasn't made for you, Rhaegar. What a freaking whoever came up with that line is a fucking idiot. Seriously, unless you're talking about Teletubbies and you're saying it to a 53-year-old man, bullshit. Bullshit or horseshit. Let's go with that one. Horseshit. Because everything is made for me. Everything is made for you.
Yeah.
They want your money. They give a shit who's reading you. You can say that the Looney Tunes comic books aren't made for us because it's written as one of those older Harvey comics. It's not written for us. Bullshit. If I put my money down, I want to read it. I enjoyed it. It's for me. I don't care. I went and saw the Barbie movie. That was for me at that time. It sucked, but it was for me. Why? Because I paid my damn money. Make sure that you have a book that can appeal to everybody. You don't have to cater it to everybody. And that's the big freaking problem. These jackanapes who decided that they're the ones that are going to take over our characters have done. They think that they have to cater it only to their whim. I remember a quote from Mark Waid of all people that said, "First, do no harm." That's it. First, do no harm. You get on a character, you make sure you don't change that character to the point of unrecognizability. And that went out the window the moment Spider-Man signed away his marriage.
Yeah. So I'm looking to see what X-Men books are out this week. X-Men 25. We got Scarlet Witch number 7. I think that's a bit for the X-Men stuff.
Let's see. I cannot hate Brie Larson since last month when I realized she played Envy Adams in Scott Pilgrim. It was not only a great portrayal, but her singing is legit. Yeah, I know. She's got a voice, right? No, I don't actually dislike Brie Larson as a performer. I've said many times, I think she's a good actress. When it comes down to it, she just came off really bad in a lot of interviews. And then, yeah, she's very understated and wasn't right for Captain Marvel. Let's see. If the movies affected them, why didn't Marvel pull that trigger and give us Peter Parker and MJ married? They have their daughter Mayday. They don't want to. I mean, I wish I could have you give you a better answer, but in all honesty, they've said and stated many times they're not going to do it. You know what they might do? What did they do that? What was that? The Amazing Family thing that came out? I think that's as close as you're ever going to get from here on in.
Amazing Family.
Yeah, it was Spider-Man, his wife, the kid.
Oh, Renew Your Vows.
Renew Your Vows. There you go.
And it was I gotta say I don't like Dan Slott, but it was okay, that first thing. But then Jodie Hollister took over, and then it got turned into crap.
Yeah.
The second volume.
Oh, Glenn's are saying Twiddle's nibbling on one of these comics that wasn't made for you. That Sandman trade paperback that I tried to hawk, and I was going to put it in a garage sale. Twiddle's autographed it. I was hearing clip, 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 and I look under, and he's right there. He's chewing on the freaking Sandman book. I'm like, no.
So for
he
those
took part of the cover off of it.
For something good this week, though, coming out is Fire and Ice, the first issue.
Fire and Ice as in the JLA or JLI, or is it Fire and Ice as in Frazetta?
Frazetta.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in for that, man. Gary Conway, Renew Your Vows was fantastic.
Also, Titans Comics or Titan Books now has their Conan the Barbarian issue 1 coming out for them as well.
Yeah, I heard that did gangbusters.
Yeah.
So, congratulations to that. Looking forward to it.
So Fire and Ice, guess who's writing it?
Pat Benatar?
No. Bill Willingham.
Ooh, okay. We're in. Bill Willingham is Fables and Elementals. So, yeah, I'm up for that one, man. That sounds good to me. JLI Fire and Ice has a new book coming out, too. I think it's drawn by the Dodsons. And, so long as it's not Riley Rosmo. I would hate for them to take a really good character and have an awesome writer and then give them the art to Riley Rosmo. I think that would suck. I think that would suck a lot, especially if it's the one writer you really do follow. That would
apparently
really
Magneto's got his own book coming out this week too. Magneto #1.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm talking about the Sandman, by the way.
I know.
Robert Venditti. Yay! Okay, Sandman. All right, Golden Age Sandman. Let's go. Drawn by Riley Rosmo.
It says apparently this will have one meeting known as Ira in her first appearance ever.
Okay.
Apparently, so that's another key issue guys get.
Okay.
But anyway, but it's guess who's writing it though? It's James G. Mateus with Todd Knock on art.
Okay.
So I might actually
okay with that.
Up. It looks almost like it might be a throwback issue.
So I'm watching. I was no what? It wasn't watching. I wasn't watching YouTube. I was reading on Facebook, and somebody showed the first appearance of Silver Sable, and he was talking. I was thinking about specking this because they've got to put her in a movie sometime. They're still doing that. Why it's the dumbest thing in the world, especially now. You have no idea what movie's coming out, and you're specking on the fucking movies instead of the comics themselves. Fire and Ice has a title coming out, so why aren't their first appearance busted? Yeah. That's what you do. There is no sustainability when you're specking on it based on the movie. It has happened time and freaking time again. The ones that are doing it are they're not speculators, they're flippers. But they're still going against or going as the movie tell them to. Oh, this guy's making an appearance. Who fucking cares? What if the movie bombs? For a little bit, the first appearance of Laura, the dark-haired daughter of Superman, the Supergirl, that was going up in price. That was elevating. It's the Baxter page, the Baxter paper, Legion of Superheroes Annual #1. Because in the movie, she looks like the Supergirl from that book. The movie comes out, it bombs. You think people still give a shit about that Supergirl? Yeah, it flops constantly, and they're still doing the speculation based on the movies.
Remember I told you about that Iceman book that's supposed coming out? Comes out this week. So he was killed last week, but now it's a prequel story. It's being written by Steve Orlando.
Okay. That's breaking news there, guys. I don't give a fuck.
Like I said, he's such a traumatic death, and then don't worry, he's back. We can just write him before the events.
I don't give a and all on they broke me. I'm not black-pilled as I'm saying, oh, it's all gonna suck. There might actually be some good stories. I just don't have the heart to pull the trigger anymore. It's hard for me to sit here and read a lot of comics. If they're new, the older books I'm having a blast with. Older comics, man, hell yeah. And sometimes things that look dumb to me at first, I'm going back and I'm reading them and finding out actually I missed out. They're All Out War with the Viking Commando. How stupid does Viking Commando look? It's a pretty good story. It's that kind of thing. Yeah. But modern comics, man, it's hard for me to get excited about.
Story coming up in X-Men 25.
What?
Kitty Pryde and basically a ninja outfit with 2 swords on X-Men 25. It's all with the whole Fall of X. It's like, why do I care about the Fall of X? Why should anybody care about the Fall of X? Just start over, like you're going to do, going to #1 again. Once you hit a certain number, it's pointless, Yeah. If I want to read a good story, I'll read Action Comics 1000.
I was, let me see if I've still got this up. Yeah, I do. Actually, I was going to see if you guys wanted to do a reading. Not tonight, but one is we were all X-File or X-Men Gala doing all that kind of crap and talking about Night Terrors and Barbie movies. Japan went and released a Batman. It's a Batman anime or manga book, whatever you guys call it. Manga. Okay, if you want to go that far. Am I going the wrong way? Oh, I'm going the wrong way here, but it's all about Batman gets de-aged, and the Joker takes care of him as a baby.
Yeah.
So
it finally came out.
Yeah, it's out. It's out.
Like 3 years in the making, right?
And it's out on the DCU, so I thought it might actually be fun to check this out.
Comics will break your heart, kid. Kirby. Ha-cha-cha.
Comics will break your heart. Yeah, it's when you said that, I thought of that what is it? The Boston movie with Jimmy Fallon and Drew Barrymore. He's Red Sox. He's he looks at him. He takes Lenny Clark takes the kid to the ball game, and he gets enamored with the Red Sox. He goes, "They'll break you hot, kid." Yeah.
I got the Eric typed that in, and I was just reading what he wrote.
Comics will break your heart. Disney legend. Yeah, Disney legend.
Yeah, now see, if you're bringing up that manga, why don't you bring up the Superman versus Ramen Noodles manga?
Because I thought Joker taking care of a baby was a little bit more interesting, but yes, they do have that out right now as well. So either one.
Because I want to, if we're gonna read the Superman versus or Ramen Noodles, we're all gonna have ramen noodles eating it while we're reading.
Not on, that'll drive me in bonkers, man. I can't do. Yeah. Yeah, Fever Pitch, Eric. I love that movie. I actually have it on DVD. It's one of my not even guilty pleasures. I don't really feel guilty about the movies I find to be good or entertaining.
And then there's the one with Matt Blanc and the was it the chimpanzee?
Which one?
It's called Ed.
That one sucked. That was Matt LeBlanc, where the he's a pitcher and the ape is the first baseman or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm not a big animals playing sports fan. I didn't like Air Bud. Except for Gus. Gus was good, but that's Don Knotts. And you don't get it because you're way too young. There's old people in the chat that's going, "Oh yeah, Gus, I liked that movie as a kid." Yeah, but okay. Let's see.
Batman. If you want a good sports movie,
say again.
If you want a good sports movie, watch The Goon.
No, you're right. That's a great. I love that one, man. That's a really badass show. The Goon with Stifler.
Yeah, Sean Scott Williams.
Yeah, that is actually, it's a hockey movie. And then I don't know, is Sabretooth in the first one or just the sequel?
I don't know.
The guy who plays, I'm having a hard time with names at this point. The dude who played Sabretooth in Wolverine Origins.
Yeah.
It's got a weird name. Yeah. I like ramen, but sodium and cholesterol is, yep. Tonight I identify as a one-armed tranny, respect my pronouns. Hey, you know what? I got an idea. What if, and they say you have to respect them, what if when you're in college you say that your name, your pronouns are racial slurs?
Porch and monkey.
Dude, do not get my dude. No.
I said two words. I didn't say together. I said there's an and in there. Your channel, Ben. Anybody actually pays attention to your channel that actually cancel you?
Yes. Yes, I'm a freaking knockabout. Have you not noticed? Yes, I am 100% sure that there are still people I pissed off by owning freaking Ethan Van Sciver on a freaking debate to the point where they still watch and go, "Well, he said this," and they go fucking crying off to their Lord and Master. I've seen this fucking happen still. So yes, I actually believe that there are people out there willing to flag my channel.
See, that's what Steve Glenser said, Porsche and money. That's what I said.
There you go. Yeah, but no, I absolutely believe that to be true. Because I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen since. Let's see, I found some noodles that don't have as much of the sodium in them, but they are $6.99. Yeah, if you like get those bowls, like you go to the Asian market, they've got these big bowls that really do kind of resemble the ramens you would get in Japan and China and such. And they are expensive as heck, but they're okay. They're good.
All right. So apparently,
my daughter gets them all the time.
Fellow Kubert School student and comic pro John Floyd has died.
Say who?
Some artist named, or comic artist
John Floyd.
John Floyd, yeah.
Okay. Wow, on the same day as Pee Wee Herman. Is this a conspiracy?
I bet it was Obama. Look at he has a black eye and his fingers are taped up.
He killed a chef, a comic legend, and a comic artist all on the same day. Let's see. Venkman is walking the razor's edge like basically the whole Clinton body count list. We all know that's real. There are so many great ones. The Longest Yard. Oh, talking about just straight up sports movies. I love the Longest Yard. Actually, I enjoy both of them, but the Burt Reynolds is a classic. I like as far as sports movies, as far as baseball, give me Bull Durham any day. I like that one. Sandlot's a backup on that. That one's really good. And Field of Dreams, of course, is awesome.
It's after Ellen Gale's birthday.
England Gales. Yeah. We discovered that Gail Simone is her name's she's on too. The same, she has the same birthday as I do. And then it was put together that Gail Simone, my wife is Gail. Coincidence? Yes. Good straight up sports movie, The Year Up There. Oh, that deal. Okay. What is that again? The Year Up There. That doesn't sound familiar.
When it comes to baseball movies, I love The Natural.
The Natural. That's a good movie. That is a good movie.
I also like a little bit of Bull Durham once in a while.
Yeah, Bull Durham is just awesome. Bad News Bears, I liked since I was a kid.
There's Field of Dreams. There's another one. If you build it, they'll come.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I got to say, as far as football movies, North Dallas 40 is good. Not my favorite. My favorite is kind of an embarrassing. Longest Yards, probably.
Titans.
I would probably say
Titans? Yeah.
No, I would. Well, here's the thing. Longest Yard is my favorite football film, the one with Burt Reynolds. Like I said, I enjoy the Adam Sandler. It's just not as good. But the one I watch the most is The Replacements. I can't get enough of that movie. You know, I will put that on. If I watch it and somebody says, "Do you mind watching that again?" Sure, put it on. I'm good. I'm good to go.
If we're gonna talk about good football movies, which are about the bad movies.
The bad football movies? You mean like Flubber 2?
No, the bad sports movies.
Yeah, Flubber 2.
Hardball.
Oh, that's a bad baseball movie. Actually, not a lot of people know this about the Disney movies, the Flubber movies. The first one is a basketball movie, and the second one is a football movie, because in the end they use the Flubber to help win the sports games, the sports balls. So yeah, that one is pretty bad. I didn't mind the first Flubber, but the Flubber 2 was not good.
I saw Flubber 1, and then I don't think is it Flubber 2? Was it actually a knockoff and Rob Williams wasn't in it?
Oh, no. Flubber 2 was I'm sorry, The Absent-Minded Professor 2. Okay. I forget. Flubber is the remake. Absent-Minded Professor is the I'm going way back.
I'm sure they made a Flubber sequel to the Rob Williams one, but I think I probably didn't watch because it wasn't Rob Williams there. They got someone else to be the main actor. So. The Natural
is a masterpiece, says Jay. Major League is my favorite sports movie, followed closely by Necessary Roughness. I love Necessary Roughness. And, you know, there are just certain scenes that grab you sometimes at the end where the Hawaiian guy turns to Scott Bakula and says, "I promise they will not touch you." And I got to tell you, every time I see it, and you see Scott Bakula drop back and the guy's coming at him, and then last moment, that big Samoan motherfucker puts him down on his ass, I'm like, yes! Every time. It just works. It gets you right there, right? That's one of the great things about sports movies. So I saw a tweet. They were talking about what are tropes that you still like even though you've seen them 1,000. I'm a losers win the big game kind of guy. I am. I'm sorry. I like the bad news bears bits, except for they don't win in that one. But I like that kind of stuff.
The underdog mentality.
Yeah, they're just certain things. One scene, it's not technically a sports film because it's not technically a sport, but one scene that hits me in the feels every time is when you see that little pig put those sheep right into the freaking pen, and the crowd just freaking cheers, and he just looks down and goes, "That'll do, pig." It's like, I'm sorry, but it's that kind of thing.
And then they celebrate with bacon later on that night.
Yeah, the end of The Replacements, when it talks about how they didn't get signed on to commercials and all that kind of stuff.
Invincible, what was the one we're talking about with Mark Wahlberg?
The Rookie is kind of like that one as well, with Dennis Quaid. He's the pitcher, and let's see what else we got here. I was kind of sad to hear Pee Wee Herman died. Yep. Did you know Lawrence Fishburne? Yeah, he was in the Pee Wee's Big Adventure. Not Big Adventure, but Pee Wee's Playhouse. Kevin Bacon trying to recruit African tribesmen to play professional basketball. I don't remember that movie. I do know that there was a Disney movie called The World's Greatest Athlete, where Jan Michael Vincent played a Tarzan-like guy that lived in the jungle. So they get him to do an Olympic sport or something like that. I haven't watched him forever. Any Given Sunday, says Dick Sargent York. 8 Men Out is a really good one too. Yeah. Roger Comiskey is like a lot of bosses, says Glinzer.
Teen Wolf.
Both Longest Yards are excellent, says Jay Lucian. Replacements is underrated, very. Friday Night Lights is good too. The movie, I haven't seen the TV show. I heard it's okay, but the movie's pretty good. That's another, the team you're following doesn't win, but Hoosiers is pretty good. Air Bud movies are, yes. I'm not a big fan of Remember the Titans. It didn't really hit with me. Eric Breen is saying Bull Durham, Longest Yard, the original, North Dallas 40s, Hoosiers, all great sports movies, all of which can be argued that they aren't sports movies. Well, considering Bull Durham's main focus being the relationship between Susan Sarandon, Tim Robbins, and Kevin Costner.
Yeah, Major League.
But there's enough baseball in there.
Mr. Baseball with Tom Selleck, as Jay's bringing up. Major League is the other one.
That one wasn't bad. I like a lot of sports movies. That one wasn't bad, and neither was Mr. 3000.
Oh, the Bernie Mac.
Bernie Mac. Yeah, he's in that one.
I want to say Bernie Sanders.
I heard. Yeah, you were saying Bernie Sanders. That would
have been awesome, though.
You got to do it the equality way. It's socialist baseball. All right. Friday Night Lights is a true story, and movie did not take too many liberties. It's very spot on, says Jay. Disney remade most of their movies, but not The Black Hole. Guess the title won't sell in China. I guess The Black Hole could also be like a butthole. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. By the way, we started a dodgeball team at Universal Studios. They had a dodgeball tournament thanks to that movie. That was a lot of fun. I was 35 freaking years old, fat and out of shape, but damn, that was a fun time.
So my all-time
didn't make it to the end, but I was close.
My all-time favorite football movie is Rudy.
Oh, okay.
From right back in 1993 when they actually made good movies back then.
They make good movies now.
Yeah,
Slapshot and Miracle, those are pretty good. Now I'll tell you what, I remember watching the Miracle. That was awesome. My mom went fucking nuts. That is the honest truth about that. We were watching the game between America and Russia, and it's seriously, it's just like this all the way through. Just watching that thing, and when we win, and she lost it. I was like, woo, yeah. But holy crap, it was just a cheer fest. And of course, he's like, do you believe in miracles? Yes. It was really exciting time. Let's see, what was you answered that one. The Invincible, Maranya, The Pride of the Yankees. That's a really good one. That's a really good one.
Yep. Yes, Giuliani played in Notre Dame. Yeah, that's what it was. It's Giuliani.
Let's see. Dodgeball is pretty fun. Don't sleep on Mr. Baseball with Tom Selleck. You know what I like? One thing it really resonated with me because I saw it when I went overseas was how Tom Selleck was acting like an American. Actually, I did this a little bit myself. He was acting like they call it the ugly American. You know, he's an American, therefore he gets this and this and this and this. And Dennis Haysbert, I believe, was his co-star, and he calls him out because Dennis Haysbert had been there for a while. And he says, look, you're in their country. You got to live by their laws. And that really resonated with me, especially after I went and saw it. And by the way, Jay is 100% right. Now, this is really it's really a romantic comedy with baseball as the background. And what it is Kevin Costner he plays a pitcher, and it's not an important game for them. They're out. The team that Kevin Costner is playing for is out, and the team they're playing against is like one game away from making the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And Kevin Costner is he's thinking about his relationship because it's on the rocks, and he doesn't know he's pitching a no-hitter. Like, nobody wanted to tell him, and then at a certain point he does. He asks, wait a second, has anybody even been on base? And there's a line in that one too. I love the loyalty things also. What was his what's his name from Chicago and Step Brothers and all, John C. Reilly. He goes, you don't worry, we're gonna be awesome for you today. And I'm like, oh, right there, man. I love those kind of shows of loyalty in movies. The air up there is Kevin Bacon. Okay, it's Kevin Bacon basketball. I honestly, I think I don't know. I did not see that one. The Program is my favorite football movie, says Jay. I was okay. I was a projectionist at that time. By the way, kids did get hurt. There's a scene in The Program where the team lies down in the middle of a highway on the white line. And there was actually some dumbass kids who decided to do that and got run over. If Squid Game were a movie, Blue Chips, didn't care for that one. White Men Can't Jump. They remade that one this year, as a matter of fact, Rhaegar. A good older football with John Wayne. Trouble Along the Way. Never saw it.
Yeah, I forgot that Air Up There actually was a movie. I'm like, yeah, because as soon as they said, like, oh, that's like Kevin Bacon recruiting a basketball player from Africa, I was like, I remember that vaguely. I watched that back in 1994. So that's how old that movie is.
Yeah.
I watched it at VHS.
I dig on sports movies, man. Seriously. And a lot of good ones being mentioned here, too. I'll tell you what. Here's Kevin Costner in sports. They go together. Just saying. And he made a football movie that was all about the draft. It's called Draft Day. Yeah. And that is good. It's just basically this is what goes on, and they're trying to get the right players for their team. They're not a winning team, and they want a winning season. And what's his name? The Russell kid that played the U.S. soldier, U.S. agent in Falcon and Snowman. He plays this star quarterback. Everybody wants him. He's the number one seed. And then what's his name? Black Panther, the dude that died. What's his name? He was a fucking phenomenon for a while. Chadwick Chadwick Boseman, or whatever, something like that. Yeah. Anyway, he plays a halfback, and he's trying to convince him, look, I can't be seventh because he's like 17. He goes, no, I need that top three. I need that. I need that top three money, and he keeps pushing that he's right. It's just it was really interesting movie, showing off what goes on during the draft. I dug up on that one. And by the way, there have been golf movies. Caddyshack's brilliant, but I got to go with Dick Sargent's choice right here. Tin Cup. Freaking floored me, man. Like I said, Kevin Costner in sports, man.
I haven't watched it. Really, I forgot something about Airplane. Did he? It was Tin Cup, wasn't that the one with John Cusack's in there too? Or I think it was another movie. You had Kevin Costner and
no, you're talking about pushing like pushing 10 or something like that.
That's okay. Pushing 10. Okay, that's
yeah, yeah. The one where they're air traffic controllers. 10 Cups just funny as hell. I dig that one as well. That was pretty good. Jerry Maguire's one of those backstage sports movies. What's up, Birdie? What's up? It's let's see. I wonder how many people really think they buried Chadwick Boseman in Wakanda. Oh my gosh! I saw this one video where they were talking to some black people and they were asking them to name African countries. And I swear to God, more than one person went, "Is this Wakanda?"
Oh, there's North Africa, South Africa, countries. Well, man, really.
Nah, I wouldn't be able to pass that test either. There's only a few, like, because they showed the way the countries were separated.
Yeah.
I could probably name 3 or 4 tops. You know, and it gets worse the farther down South Africa you get. I could name, okay, well, that's Egypt and that, you know.
Kenya? All right,
yeah.
We're good.
I remember that Miracle Game Live, still the greatest sporting event of all time, says Ash. It really was sharp. That really was good stuff. I didn't mention Space Jam because Space Jam sucked. Sorry, 90s kids, you were kids. You didn't know it. Maybe you realized it. Maybe when you rewatched it as an adult, you saw past that childlike nostalgia. But Space Jam sucked back then. It did.
Who peed in your Cheerios?
Space Jam. The entire cast. They fucking sucked. I mean, look, there were some good parts in it. Sure, fine. Okay, Bill Murray was awesome for the 5 seconds he was in on it. But, yeah.
Michael Jordan, Bugs Bunny. Yeah. Unlike the crappy remake they tried their sequel to do.
Never saw it. I am happy I never saw it. I was telling, I'm going to watch it so I can review it. Nope.
Suck, old man.
Never saw it. Moneyball was good. Yeah, I like that one too. That has it's a movie with that one really great scene where he's sitting at the table and is like, what do we want? No, when I point to you, I want you to talk. And then he goes, what do I want? People who get on base. Yeah.
No.
But there you go. Hey, what's up, Cartoon and Comic Studio? How you doing? Trick questions. I'm telling you, Dick, I saw those. I saw that video, man. Try to find it. You'll see. You see more than one person ask where Wakanda is or guess where Wakanda is. Wakandan Americans. There you go. Zach is saying Space Jam is glorious. I loved it as a 6-year-old. Of course you did. You were 6. The movie's not good. It really isn't. Little Giants.
So I got a question, because when you talk about sports movies, do you mainly just go to baseball, basketball, football, soccer, golf, whatever, or do you include BMX?
No, find a good BMX movie. I mean, you can find a cheesy one, BMX Bandit, and what was that one?
Rad was awesome.
The BMX Kid. What was the one with Nicole Kidman?
I don't know about that one.
She did a BMX movie in the 1980s.
That might have been BMX Bandit you're thinking of. The one I'm talking about is Rad.
Rad? Yeah, I remember those movies. But Nicole Kidman was in one, and she is tall, lanky, and you cannot see the woman she is growing up to be.
Yeah.
Poker like I think poker's a game, not a sport. But yeah.
Rounders, I guess. Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, anyway, we've been at this for an hour and 30.
We tried to lure Eric on with sports talk, but he didn't show up.
I know, right? I don't know. Eric, what did I do to you that you're not coming on to this live streams anymore? Like I said, it's starting to hurt, man. Forget BMX. Find a good bowling movie. Kingpin. Kingpin's got to be the best bowling movie, right? Grease 2. What's another bowling film? I always wanted DMX to star in a BMX. We're about done here, cartoons and comics. Did you see that skateboarding movie, Gleaming the Cube? I did. That was a big thing back in the day.
Yeah. I excited. There's the movies I remember watching the day. One of my favorites was Gleaming the Cube. That was about skateboarding with Christian Slater. That one. And then he had then on the BMX one with Rad. Dude, they all had awesome kick-ass like songs in there. That was because you're towards to the end of the '80s when they actually had like good classic soundtracks. Winner Takes It All and all the other songs back in the '80s. Awesome.
Hey, what's up? The guilt report.
Right. But you guys were talking. You got a third guest, and you said, "This is our time."
Oh, we were talking
VENKMAN
about.
And I would like to be alone.
We were talking about the book.
So,
but,
I thought far be it from me to intrude on that.
Okay, yes, but we were talking about the book because I felt. But you were one of the ones that recommended it to me, also. So I guess you
recommended what?
The X-Men.
No, I didn't.
That wasn't you. Okay,
No.
I apologize. I
saw just some guy actually liked it.
Yeah, VENKMAN needed his talking to. That book was garbage.
Oh, yeah, I understand. I understand it was a good book. It was good in the sense that I enjoyed all the slaughter and seeing people triggered online and saying Gary Duggan is the worst human being ever.
He did say that he said it should have stopped with Xavier on his knees, basically singing "All Dead" by Queen. But no, he put it in perspective. I said, it's just everything being relative, I guess. But it did notice what I said. They killed Iceman last week.
Yep.
His new book starts this week.
Yeah,
I wonder if there'll be the same outrage, or do teen Muslims trump aged down to now teen gays?
Don't know how it fills out, man, but I could tell you this honestly. If I read it, it's because I'm about to talk about it, or I need something to go off on a live stream. I honestly do not care. They have smacked the care out of me.
I said I was I'm going through a box tonight. Four Avengers Annuals 10s. That's always nice. That's nice. It's it's still got a ways to go before 8 Wolverine #1s from '82, but so apparently this person was either a speculator or a hoarder or both.
That's a nice box to have.
Yeah.
So where would you chime in on this sports movie thing? Like if you were to pick a favorite movie of baseball, football, basketball, golf, bowling.
Bull Durham baseball for quality of movie, for something I can stop and watch for half an hour, and I don't need to see the end no matter what time. But Major League, the first one, that's just fun. I mean, that's what. Anytime I come across
just a bit outside,
I don't even need the Leslie Nielsen and not Leslie Nielsen, the Bob Uecker stuff. I just, like I said, it's just someone posted a scene. It's just a random scene from the movie, and basically where the manager pisses on the guy's, thing, says, "Look, I don't. This is my contract. I don't have to do that." And he just throws it on the ground and pisses on him. It's just stuff like that. It's just fun.
Mm-hmm.
Football, that's tough call. Because I put them in the things. Longest Yard, North Dallas 40 are both really good movies with football in them, but obviously they're neither one are about football. It just there's part, but then again, if that's okay, if that's all, if that qualifies sports movie, then one of those two, and Hoosiers for basketball. But there's another contender nobody remembers, that championship season where Robert Mitchum plays the coach of a high school team that gets back together, and one of the 5, 4 of the 5 come back. I think they had a black center who didn't come back for the reunion, but it's just the twists and turns their lives have taken, and I mean, I've only seen it once, but I remember I liked it a lot.
You know, you saying that made me think of a movie. It had Kurt Russell and Robin Williams, and it was like best year of our lives or something like that. The word best was in there. I forget what it was, but I remember liking that one. And that's one thing with sports movies. They might not be the greatest thing of all time, but yeah, you could, if you can get behind the lovable losers or whatever, it does make for at least a decent hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah, for football, for me, I gotta say, for me personally, it's Rudy. I've liked that movie since it came out.
Yeah, Rhaegar's down there going, everybody mentioned the Sandlot. You know what he's saying to himself? You're killing me, Smalls.
You're killing me, Smalls. No one's mentioned the Sandlot?
Yeah, I've still never seen that. That Mystery Alaska was a good movie. I mean,
oh my gosh, I forgot about that. Yes. That is good.
Yeah, it's really good.
I used to have that on DVD. I liked it. It really actually was a character movie, and I don't know, the scene that comes to mind right away is him stepping out onto the rink that they built, and he goes, "This isn't open ice." It's just because they talked about they could beat any team on open ice. And so they end up building a stadium of sorts for the New York whatevers. I
gotta say, Zach, I'm not gonna take the apples for this because I just haven't gotten to it yet. But I said my taste in movies tend to skew pretty freaking old. Well, all the people, the newest movie I think I mentioned was Major League. But I've also
Mystery Alaska was
that early? Yeah, that was early 90s. You're right.
Yeah, Mystery Alaska was late 90s.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay, then I have nothing to stand on. I will go get some apples. But I've never seen Pride of the Yankees all the way through. It was on yesterday. MLB has about 10 movies, and that's one of them. And it, I guess it is proper perspective, but it was. I mean, there was just syrup dripping off of that. It was coming out of my TV.
Well, if you talk about the older stuff, one of the first movies, there used to be a TV show showed old movies called Dialing for Dollars. If they would interrupt with the commercials and, hey, Joe from Orlando, you won $50. That kind of thing. And I saw The Damn Yankees. Now, I don't know if you'll count that one because it's a musical, and I don't think they had a lot of baseball. I don't think that actually qualifies as a sport movie.
It's awesome.
To me, there has to be a game.
Yeah,
it has to be a full game from beginning to end, and you have to care about who wins or loses.
Yeah, that's the only movie on my roller derby list, Glenzer.
Which one? Kansas City Bomber?
Oh, yeah. You don't need any more.
Well,
that's all the roller derby movies you need.
Yeah. Well, hey, what about roller ball, sir?
That's not.
I'm awake.
That's not roller derby for one.
Yeah.
It doesn't have Raquel Welch for two. So if I had
most movies have to take half a point off their grade because they don't.
I gotta say, I prefer the reboot over the original.
What, Rollerball?
Yeah.
Is Rocky the best boxing movie?
Rocky is boxing. There's no other better movie.
Well, there's at least one that's up.
Raging Bull.
Which one?
Raging
I was about to say Raging Bulls. At the very least, you put them against each other.
Now Rocky's. I mean, that's a fantastic feel good movie. But it's, I guess it really depends on your perspective. I said, for me, it'd be Raging Bull because, as I said, he's, but because it is based in fact. I mean, I tell it's Jake LaMotta was a real person. His wife did a Playboy spread at age 51.
Wow.
She's probably 80 something now. She's still alive, but I digress.
Well, Sally Kellerman's hot, so okay.
If we're talking about roller skating and all that stuff, I'm gonna go back to Skate Town, USA.
Now here's
best
something.
Hockey movie.
Jim is asking, does The Babe count as a sports movie? I would have to say no. And here's why. And this is my criteria. It has to have a full game played where the movie is kind of puts the ending of the game as you got to care about the game. That's it. So like the Babe shows scenes from baseball games, but it's not so much a baseball movie as it is a biopic. And I would say the same thing about Cobb starring Tommy Lee Jones.
I 42 as well.
I would say I have to disagree with that because some sports movies are about the aftermath of sports, like that championship season that takes place 20 years. That's a 20-year reunion. I think they're different kind. If you want to break it down and get really in depth and stuff, you could put them in two different categories. But I would say that you don't. I don't have to have a game for it to be a sports movie.
Okay, I see what I get it. I get it. Yeah, did you ever see Cobb?
I have not.
That is one of the best performances from Tommy Lee Jones, hands down. He is really good. But it's about Ty Cobb and about how much of a jerk and a douchebag he was on the field and off the field. So, yeah, it's really good. It's got Robert Wool and playing the guy who's writing Ty Cobb's biography, and they want him to write a hero's book. Yeah. And instead he decides to go ahead and write what he's seeing.
Yeah, that we're finding out as time goes on that a lot of the bad has been really exaggerated with him. Mm-hmm. That, I mean, they took a little bit. They took was he racist for his day? Yeah, probably. I mean, racist for his day, even, not just, but he also, the legend built him to where he was a piece of shit, 365 days a year. And there really is more to him than that. And I'm not saying he was any, great person by any stretch, but they've kind of just really, they need a boogeyman and he fits the bill. So, by now I'm sure he woke up and had puppies for breakfast, type of thing. But, okay, best hockey movie. Mystery Alaska or Slapshot?
I would go Mystery Alaska with those two.
I would go Youngblood.
You would. Hold on. Let me address something really quick though. Maranya is bringing up A League of Their Own. Love it. I've enjoyed that movie. I can watch it anytime.
Never seen it.
Never saw it. Yeah.
Haven't gotten to it yet.
Because you hate women.
Other than that, I mean,
no, I think it was a great film. I really do. I like all the players. I like the way they filmed the game. Penny Marshall put together a really good movie. Have not yet seen the TV show because of all the wokeism. But then I read about, and I found out that the TV show may actually be more accurate than the movie. But sometimes, do you want the accuracy? It's kind of like Ty Cobb. Do you really want to hear how racist and horrible he was, or do you want to hear how heroic he was? What he did for the game itself, or the fact that he was a brilliant businessman. The guy invested in Coca-Cola when nobody else was, and at the time that they were and upped it and pushed them to go to cans. It's you find out all this kind of stuff for it. So I don't know. Maybe you want to see the Penny Marshall movie. Maybe you want to watch the TV show because it's more accurate. I didn't want to watch it. I didn't think, even now, I don't think they could just tell a story about a bunch of lesbians that want to play baseball. I think they would have to. I think they would have to smack men with it.
Rhaegar, I would have to go with Ty Cobb because Marge Schott was. She was senile and she was just nuts. I think Ty Cobb was aware of his disdain for people that didn't look like him. Marge Schott and she came from a lot of members of her family came from a country that kind of thought they were superior to everybody else. you know, if you know what I mean. So
I liked Rush. Glinzer's mentioning Grand Prix, Le Mans, Rush, Ford versus Ferrari, the racing games, or the
Driven
racing
is
movies.
awesome, bro.
Driven sucked. Driven was god awful. Okay, you know what? I challenge y'all to watch Driven for one reason, and I am not lying about this. It's a Sylvester Stallone racing film. There is a montage every 10 minutes. Check it out. The movie is an hour and a freaking half. I kid you not. It's got 9 goddamn freaking montages.
The car chase in the street in the Formula One car, race car.
Every 10 minutes.
by the way, pool is not a sport, so I can't.
Yeah, pool's a game.
Yeah, but I'll also say that it's one of those rare movies, and I know this is kind of cheating because the sequel was decades later. I like Color Money better.
Heck yeah.
You're not the only one to say that. E just explained why Die Hard isn't a Christmas film. Die Hard, by the way, is not a Christmas film.
It is.
It isn't. It does not. Look, there's a lot of Christmas movies that aren't Christmas movies.
Like the Night Before Christmas. It's before Christmas.
The Nightmare Before Christmas is a Halloween film, by the way.
I'd rather be pricing a set of
no. It's I mean, it is a Christmas film, but okay. Nightmare Before Christmas is a Christmas film because its central theme is Christmas. Die Hard takes place at Christmas, and by all means, I watch it at Christmas time every year too. But it isn't. It isn't a Christmas film. Sorry. Neither is Home Alone. Neither is It's a Wonderful Life. You know, you could take the plot of Home Alone. You don't need Christmas there. It's not about Christmas. But there you go. Okay, anywho, before we get too far into that argument, please shoot me. It didn't take long there, Eric.
Well, you didn't listen when I said I'd rather be pricing a set of young bloods than listen to this again.
Now, Jim is saying Over the Top is the best arm wrestling movie. It is, and you know why? Because Sylvester Stallone watched the Oscar-winning film Kramer versus Kramer and said, you know, it's good, but it's missing arm wrestling.
No, there's one reason why that's not the greatest arm wrestling movie of all time. The little kid, had he like walked out in front of a speeding truck, then it's the best arm wrestling movie. If he does it for his memory, because that little shithead was on my favorite stories as a kid, and he ruined them. He was terrible. He was that kid from The Walking Dead 30 years before that. You know the one I'm talking about?
Yep.
Henry, right?
Got half his family eaten.
That kid.
This little Mikey was that guy 30 years
ago. Mom, and then all the zombies just spawned.
I disagree. The framing of Wonderful Life is on Christmas Eve and the events of that day, which led to reliving his life without him. The framing was the suicide. The framing was him wanting to kill himself. Christmas is so inconsequential to It's a Wonderful Life that it truly only appears at the beginning and the end of this movie. Sorry.
Okay, but that doesn't mean you can't watch it. It become a Christmas.
Oh no, I watch it every year. I watch it
The
multiple
Apartment
times
every year. That's not about Christmas, but Christmas runs through it.
Say again.
I watch The Apartment every year in December because Christmas runs through it. It's not maybe not be a Christmas movie, but it's close enough for me.
Holiday Affair.
That movie you got me on to.
That is a Christmas movie.
The one where everybody's squatting in the rich man's house.
Yeah, it happened on Fifth Avenue.
Yeah, it's not a Christmas
No, it's
movie,
a Christmas season movie. It's a holiday movie.
Yeah, I'll from now on I will watch it every Christmas. Thank you very much for pointing
You're welcome.
it out.
I'm happy to help.
Yeah, that was just one of those things. I'm very happy you pointed it out because, in all honesty, I kind of want to fire it up other times outside of Christmas.
It kind of lifts you up, doesn't it?
It really does. It really does. It's called once again. Let everybody know, just in case. It's called "It Happened on Fifth Avenue."
Happened on Fifth Avenue.
Yeah. It was just one.
It's got the skipper from Gilligan's Island as a young man.
That's him.
Victor Moore, Charles Ruggles. It's a great movie. It's just a lot of fun. It's actually even funny in a few spots.
It's a homeless man sneaks into a rich man's house, and one he's there, and this girl comes in,
The daughter of the owner.
It turns out to be the daughter of the owner, and he's acting like, well, if you're gonna stay here, here's the rules. And she's trying to get away from her father, so she doesn't want her father to know she's there, and she invites some other people to stay, and they're all kind of squatting in her father's home, and it just works. It's
and it turns out that her parents are estranged, and the father finds out about what's going on, but he agrees to play along, but he starts getting, he starts threatening to throw his weight around, and the people squatting there are working on a GI project that they need funding for that'll provide housing for returning GIs, because it's right after World War II.
right.
And he's one of the richest men in the world, and he's got his own business deal because he wants the same land. And the daughter decides to bring the mother home, and then obviously it's a holiday movie in the 40s.
Yeah,
it has
works.
a happy ending. But
Okay, so Dick Sargent York is bringing up a soccer film. Have you seen it? It's called Victory, with Sylvester Stallone, Michael Caine. Pele is in it.
God, I don't think I ever have. I know of it. It's like 1981.
Yeah. I
Prisoners
watched
of
that
War.
movie a lot.
That's what they're prisoners of war, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, okay.
Some movies just so happened to come at a time when HBO was new, and I would watch, and it used to not, they wouldn't show rated R movies until after 8, and then they would end like at 2:00 in the morning. You remember when channels stopped broadcasting, Eric?
They played they played the national anthem and the flag, and they go beep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
concludes
used to
our
watch movies all the
broadcast
time, and this one was playing. They played Victory constantly on HBO, and I just ended up really liking it.
So
It was a fun
that
film.
was back when HBO was new and Cinemax was nude.
Yes, that is true. You got this little square guide every month if you were a subscriber, and you could, if you were, say, a horny 12 or 13-year-old kid, you could go through it and, oh, this one says N. That's for nudity. We're going to watch this movie.
Yeah, and it's rated R. It means it's getting better.
Oh my gosh, this movie's got to be awesome. It says it's got nudity. Let's go watch The Wicked Lady. Yeah, but we do get to see Marina Sirtis naked.
This one's rated G. Let's go watch it. It's Doc Hollywood. Oh, full frontal.
That was PG, but yes, that is that was something. I actually had people come out of the theaters for that one. They wanted money back because they didn't know it was going to have that. But that's the only scene. So once they got passes, I tried telling them, that's it, right? That's the only nude scene in the movie. But they wanted their money back.
Appalled? Really?
Yeah.
Were they with their girlfriends?
No, they were older. They were older. It was scrambled for us, but I tried, says Dick Sargent York. Yeah, everybody watched a nipple. I saw a nipple. Woo! Yeah.
Emmanuel in Space is the worst sci-fi show ever, says Rhaegar. Rhaegar, I didn't know you were a fan of Kirst Allen.
Who?
Kirst Allen or Chris Allen, whatever it is.
I don't know.
Yeah, see, if you're old enough, it's Sylvia Crystal. If you're young, Venkman's age, it's Krista Allen. You know who Sylvia Crystal is.
I have no idea.
Oh, Gail,
who the star of Private Lessons is.
I don't think that's her. Is it?
Private? Maybe it's Private Lessons. Yeah, that's her. Yep. The one with Howard Hessman. He's the chauffeur. They kind of do the. What is the not dangerous liaisons? The one where they did the same plot where the wife has a heart attack, a bad heart, so they make seem like they killed the husband. The husband comes back, kills the shot, kills the wife. It's the same plot. It's just they did it up against a sex comedy rather than the regular. Death Trap with
11 years ago.
Oh wow!
So, the best gymnastic movie is Gymkata.
there's nothing best about Gymkhana except for best stupid. Okay, Gymkhana, ladies and gentlemen, this movie actually exists. The dude was an Olympic gymnastics gymnast, and they figure, okay, we're going to make a martial arts film with him. And so here's the thing. They need people to get into these games where it's a combat kind of game that takes place around a city. So they have a championship archer teach him how to do arrows. They have a martial artist teach him how to do martial arts. And I'm thinking, and I'm 15 at the time, why don't you just send in the champions? Why do you need acrobat guy when all of these people are awesome fighters and you need somebody to get into this Mortal Kombat around the city?
They need Kurt Thomas.
Yeah, they need Kurt Thomas. And it just so happens that all over the city, there's parallel bars and stuff so he could swing and do all gymnastics on them. So, yeah, it was a bad movie. That was a bad movie. No one mentioned King Richard, so we must all be wasted.
He just died 3 years ago. Kurt Thomas.
Kurt Thomas?
64 years old.
Ouch, that's not good.
Whatever.
And older and older is getting way too young to
I
die.
look at Kurt Thomas, I wonder, I'm like, is that where Kurt Angle got his whole gimmick from? Was because obviously he puts on a show, you know, and he did win 2 gold Olympic medals with a broken neck in wrestling, you know. But I mean, his whole personality after that, it seems like he's just basically just copied Kurt Thomas and Gymkhana.
I don't know.
It's true. It's damn true.
Mortal Kombat is a competition movie. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, it's a silly film. It really is. Emmanuel. Oh, goodness gracious.
Hey,
Emmanuel.
I mean, there's a reason why Baywatch Hawaii was on for a while. The
Yeah.
final 2 seasons of Baywatch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why was she in it?
Yeah, she's in it.
Oh, okay. Okay. I agree with Eric. At a certain age, you're probably thinking of someone else. I remember the movies like Emmanuel in Bangkok and all that. That's when I learned about the ping pong ball trick. Okay. So, anywho, what else should we talk about? Let's bring up another movie before. We
The
can't.
Wizard.
Yeah, any time now, Gail's gonna walk
Are
through the
video
door.
games
I can't
considered a
keep talking
sports?
about Emmanuel movies.
Is what?
Video games, are they considered a sports now?
No.
No.
Go lay down.
Because they do have competitions now for the game. They've had it since the 80s.
Yeah, it's a game. Look, poker is a game. They've got
It's a skill.
competitions. Gotcha, but it's not a sport. I don't know.
Yeah, if it was, then Cincinnati Kid, we'd be talking about that.
Do you know what? No one has ever said in a chess tournament? Nice tackle. Just doesn't happen. You know.
Well, that depends. I've seen some people play chess that have had really lousy tempers.
Yeah.
I guess it could
when
happen.
Kicking the board over isn't enough.
Yeah. Not happening. Not happening. Let's see. Gymkhana, what if the champions sucked? They did. Only surf movie I could think of is Point Break, the original. Oh, what was it? One Wild Summer, One Hot Summer. What was that called?
Oh, One Hot. Oh crap! Was it One Hot Summer?
Well, I think it was.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Who was in it? Was that one of John Cusack's movies?
No, that's. Oh, maybe that is. Maybe that's the title I'm thinking of. But I do know there was another surf movie that came out a little bit before.
Point Break.
Point Break.
Yeah. And then there's Blue Crush.
Yeah.
One Crazy Summer.
One Crazy Summer. That
that's
was John Cusack.
And Debbie Moore.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the guy's name? He goes a high pitched voice. He was in Hot Trot. Goldsworth or something. Girl, what's his name? Goldsmith.
Bobcat Goldthwait.
Bobcat Goldthwait.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can never forget.
Yeah, they were in One Crazy Summer together. Yeah. Now I know that. What's his name? God dang it! Now I can't even think. No, the dude from the President Gets Caught movies, Scottish dude from 300. He did a surf movie with Catherine Zeta-Jones. Her, I remember.
Gerard Butler.
Yeah, Gerard Butler. He was in a surf movie with Catherine.
God, you said that, and I was thinking Billy Connolly because I
Billy
Howard Hessman because he replaced him in Head of the Class.
Right. No. Hot
God, my
Dog.
mind
I
goes
remember
in
that.
strange directions.
Hot Dog. You could tell me Hot Dog was a ski movie, but it was a TNA flick.
You guys ever
It,
watch?
it really was.
So
There are just some movies that they might have sports in them, but they're there for the boobs. But
You guys
as
ever
far as
watch-
skiing, Better Off Dead.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'll go on with that.
Go ahead.
You know,
And Better Off Dead, by the way, is a sports movie if you go by my criteria, because there is a competition you care about the ending of.
one of the
And yeah,
one of the worst things about 80s John Cusack movies is John Cusack today. God, what happened to that kid?
yeah, you know what though, I can separate it because
Oh, I can too, because they said, you know, even though you don't agree with me, I'll still say, give me tape heads all day long.
Yeah,
Right.
well, also because he didn't really get that way. At least he wasn't vocal about it until he was older. So it's easier to watch young John Cusack and say anything or something like that.
It's actually easy to watch older John Cusack. It's just, God, what a he's like encroaching onto Ron Perlman territory.
Oh, he's gotten that bad, huh?
Oh,
Yeah.
God, yes.
Ron, Seabiscuit any day there, Glinzer. Seabiscuit or Secretariat? Secretariat was boring.
No, best horse racing movie, Let It Ride.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Jennifer Tilly's
dude.
red dress mic drop.
That is showing that to gay people might be the same as praying the gay away. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know what? If you are homosexual and you want it challenged, watch Let It Ride with Jennifer Tilly.
Okay, if you're watching Let It Ride and you find yourself looking more at Richard Dreyfuss, you're gay.
There you go. Yeah.
There you go. Then
You're
let
right
me
about
recommend. Then let me recommend The Goodbye Girl, because you get to see him naked.
Oh, there you go.
I thought
yes.
you said.
But
you
back to
were
Jennifer Tilly in that red dress, and the fact that Let It Ride is what I call a quiet movie. This is not about a guy who's trying to get away from something. It's not about anybody chasing, fighting, or doing anything like that. It is a straight up, nice, watch it, laugh at the jokes, enjoy the characters, comedy movie about horse racing, or horse betting, actually, not even the horse racing. But it does have a horse race that you actually care about the outcome. It is such a great film. It's just a great little movie that not a lot of people have heard of it, but everybody I know that's watched it has loved it. Let It Ride, that works. As far as the two you mentioned, Seabiscuit, but you're right. I love the Let It Ride movie. I'm not bothered because I think John Cusack is just too stupid to know he's stupid, says Ray. It's actually very pitiful.
Well, who would have thought that? Because in the 80s, and they may still be best friends. It was John Cusack and Tim Robbins.
Yeah.
Who'd have thought we'd get to the point where Tim Robbins is the rational one of the two?
Yep.
Yeah, he was.
Because he's kind of seen the light a little bit.
In the 90s, he was definitely actively leftist.
Oh yeah.
And over time,
well into the 21st century, but
I don't think he's right leaning. But the thing is, I think he's classically liberal, which makes him seem like he's right leaning.
Yeah. Well, he challenged the you-know-what narrative, so he's pretty much ostracized by Hollywood.
I think what ended up happening as far as politics is concerned, I think we've actually, the conservatives have become more lax on the stuff, and it's kind of like we've enveloped classical liberalism into our conservatism.
I think when the Republican Party gave up on, when they conceded gay marriage, the left needed a new way to demonize them. So now to go along with that, they just said we're all Nazis.
Yeah.
And that's so that, and I predicted that, as that was happening, and I saw this come. I didn't see it coming to this degree. I don't think anybody could honestly say they did, but I knew they were going to have to find a new boogeyman because, let's be, who's going to get elected saying, yeah, I'm pro tobacco use for kids, other than Bob Dolan. You saw where that got him.
Yep.
Yes, I mean,
Cusack and De Niro sitting in a bar. De Niro's gotten bad too.
Oh, yeah,
I just chalk up. He's on his way out, and he knows it. So he's getting everything off his chest. That's the way it is with him.
Well, it bothers him that, yeah, I'm sure that De Niro and Trump were friends for decades. I bet.
Oh yeah,
And-
that happened with the women on The View.
Yeah,
He
and
would
you
show
know,
up, and he's a great friend of the channel, blah blah blah, yada yada, and then he runs as a Republican, and he's the evil racist.
and then then he becomes president, and De Niro makes bad grandpa. You get a little cranky. Just saying.
Yeah, I used to have more respect for De Niro than I do now. I can at least respect his movies more. I mean, I get it. Hey, welcome to comedy. You did your time in Rocky and Bullwinkle. You were awesome. But nah. I think actors never were ever conversed with anyone on the regular. We're in a different worldview, surrounded by yes men, so they were shocked when Flyover Country responded to their arrogance. The fact that they called it Flyover Country, that should tell you everything.
Well, that's the thing I say about at the time it was liberals, now it's leftists, the coastal elites. They can't conceive of the fact that everybody doesn't think like them.
Yeah,
because they never get out of their bubble. To Rhaegar's point, and there's
Most-
a whole portion of the country that doesn't think like them, and they act like when they say, "Yeah, well," when they bring up "let's separate and see who lasts longer," that's all you need to know about just how out of touch they are. Yeah,
the one thing that I have noticed, and I used to be an environmentalist. I even did papers in school as my thesis and such like that, and studied quite a bit. And I was told the world was going to end. We were going to be in an ice age by 1985. But by 1985, they discovered a hole in the ozone. So now our oceans were going to dry up by 1998. And when we weren't in an ice age in 1985, I became a little bit skeptical. And oceans didn't dry up in 1998, go figure. And then in 2015, I heard that my own home state was going to be underwater by 2015. In 2005, when they did that Inconvenient Truth movie. I'm supposed to be underwater here in Florida. Me and Dave, we're supposed to be drowning right now. Holding on to weaponized nerd rage is a floating device, I guess. I don't know. But the thing is I've seen it. I was skeptical about it at that first time out, as things weren't getting colder like we were told.
hey, weren't sea levels supposed to be up to the Statue of Liberty's boobies by now?
Yes. Yeah, we were supposed to be in water world at this point in time, by the way they talk about it. They do it all the freaking time. And you know what? I noticed the people who really push that shit are in New York or freaking California.
Buying beachfront property in places that
The trees are dying and the forests are going away, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Do you know who's not saying that? The people who every freaking day drive by all of those freaking trees. If those jackasses would actually look down at the flyovers while they're flying over them, they'll see a hell of a lot of fucking green. I don't know. The same people buy oceanfront property. Exactly. What's her name? AOC 5 years ago said in 12 years the Earth is going to die. Does it look like she's acting like we only have 7 hours left? Yeah,
I don't know, but one movie I just discovered. I've been watching a lot of Humphrey Bogart films, but I never watched The Harder They Fall.
I have not seen that one.
Oh, Venkman, best movie about roller skating.
What? Skate Town, USA.
Absolutely.
Rocket skates.
Heck yeah.
Marsha is doing coke in the bathroom.
With Horseshack?
Yes.
Come on. What do you want?
Let's see, an environmentalist who says don't bring up rising population is anti-science. Yeah, it's all about a message rather than the actual thing. I'm old enough to remember when climate change was called seasons. My gosh, people are going freaking nuts because the summer is hot. Yeah, look, the summer is hotter than normal. It's not hotter than it's ever been.
Remember 1978. These same people were calling for the next ice age. We didn't freeze to death.
No, we didn't.
I mean, I gotta admit, last week was uncomfortable as all get out, and it's worse for me since the stroke. The temperature just wreaks havoc with me. But you know what? Here it is, Monday the next week. It's nice out again. I survived.
Not here.
AC's been
Although today was a complete rainy day. I love those. I can open up my window, get a good breeze going on. It did not stop raining today.
See, that's for me. Even if it gets nice outside, I can't open my windows because all it is Canadian smoke.
Ouch, that's not good.
You know, as a public service, they should start cooking bacon in those fires, so you get Canadian bacon smell wafting through your windows when you open
That's
them.
ham.
Whatever.
Yeah, and by the way, he backed me up on it, but Zach backed me up. Rocky and Bullwinkle was fucking funny. I like Rocky and Bullwinkle.
It's been officially confirmed that Zach has 4 senses. So
well,
he might not be the one you want back in Yup.
Hey, Rocky and Bullwinkle was funny, and you know what? So was Dudley Do-Right and George of the Jungle. That's why I thought about it, because the Canadian bacon thing.
Jungle to Jungle.
George of the Jungle and no, Jungle to Jungle sucked. George of the Jungle and Dudley Do-Right were a lot of fun. Yeah, Canadian bacon is actually bacon. It's made from back bacon, not the belly bacon. Okay, all right. They use that joke in the movie, and that's where I got it. We just Americans are just now discovering Canadian bacon is ham. If we were between ice ages, then shouldn't it get as hot as the time of the dinosaurs? Says that 3-year-old. That's a thought. Jungle to Jungle was great.
Told you want him back in your corner.
Jungle to Jungle sucked. Okay. Here you go, Zach. All right. George of the Jungle to Jungle is an awesome movie. It's about a man whose wife leaves him and goes to a freaking tribe on an island. This tribe apparently has never heard of the modern world, and to pick up his son. He's going to take him to New York. So he picks up his son, right? And they go, and the son is in a loincloth with a headband. He's got a bow and arrow. Okay. So Tim Allen's the dad. He picks him up. He goes to takes him to the airport, and they're walking through the airport. And there's Tim Allen in a suit. And what's the son wearing? Loincloth, headband, carrying a bow and the arrow. The guy couldn't buy him a pair of pants. He's walking around in New York City, and what? Loincloth, headband, bow and arrow. You telling me that after all that time, Tim Allen never bought him a pair of shorts? That alone right there, it's a bad movie. But no.
What city was that?
What?
What city?
I don't care. What city? It was New York, right?
New York.
New York City.
Okay. Anybody actually remember that salsa commercial? Anybody old enough?
Yes, that's why we started it. Because my old ass remembered it.
Yeah, I don't know if Venkman remembers it.
He might have been before his. He might have been a toddler when that was out. But actually, who reminded me of it was there's a YouTuber named Jericho Green. He's a conservative black guy who's funny as hell. But he started doing that whenever he was doing a story about New York City, and that's what reminded me of it. So I brought it to the Geeky Puppet Show. Now it's to everybody else's consternation. We do it every chance. In fact, if New York isn't in the story, we put it in the story.
All righty. Paste salsa and picante sauce. That's the commercial.
It doesn't have to be a city.
This one's from Mexico. Where's that one from? New York City. A lot of fun. But no, I'm sorry. Martin Short, I'll give you Martin Short. He's absolutely wonderful in almost everything he's in, except for Santa Claus 3. Otherwise, a lot of fun. And talking about smoking, and because who was it that said, Jay said the country was better off when 70% of the population smoked, changed his mind. Martin Short on Saturday Night Live had a lawyer character who was always sweating and chain smoking and everything. Funny as fuck. Recommend you check him out.
Well, we weren't better when 70% of the country was smoking, but we were better when we didn't have processed foods for 80% of the population that can't afford to eat well.
Yeah.
I mean, because I said if you see those pictures that people post of the beaches in the 1970 versus now, I mean, you could look through like huge throngs of people, and there's just not a bunch of fat people running around in those.
Martin Short played a conniving jerk in Santa Claus 3. He played it perfectly. Okay. Look, I'm not going to argue that because I'm a Santa Claus franchise kind of hound. I like all of them, and the TV show that came on last year, I like that as well. It was really good. So I'm not going to argue that one. Let's see. Cigarettes are more unhealthy than 50 years ago, says Ethereal Dragon. I did not know that. I've never smoked. Couldn't stand it. I tried. Like when I was 5, I was actually more of a smoker than ever because we used to steal my Uncle Johnny's cigarettes. And he did that thing where, you put a whole bunch of cigarettes at once, make the kids smoke it, and they get sick. Instead, it gave me a 5-pack a day habit. I'm just kidding. I threw up. I did just like every other kid. No, but yeah, just. But we used to steal his cigarettes a lot. So yeah.
But that's the thing too. I mean, you see these all these films or reels being released, so this is like used to be like in the 80s in high school, kids smoking cigarettes. It's all you saw. I mean, nowadays it's much harder to get away with that shit because they got cameras everywhere.
Okay, hold on. Jim Sorensen, LSMFT. Why are you doing this? At the beginning, I was having a freaking flip out over. Thank you so much. What is LS? Is it Lucky Strikes? Like Dick Sargent saying, Lucky Strikes, motherfucker, take it. I don't know what would that be. I have no idea what he's talking about. I'm not good with the abbreviations. I don't know. Anyway, kids, this has been 50 minutes worth of a have a good night. So thank you very much for jumping on, Eric.
I was gonna say that'll learn you to let me on there.
No, actually, dude, this is the only time I have to chat with you. You stopped coming on Friday, and
well, Fridays I'm a little busy when you get started, and then sometimes I haven't eaten yet. So, but in Mondays, like I said, I don't see the movies, I don't watch the shows, I don't really have a whole lot to contribute.
Yeah, you do.
And so, tonight I was going to come on. I'll take a break from pricing and come on. And I said, then you go, oh my God, you're talking about comics. And it's one I didn't read.
Oh, but the thing is, and you know this to be true. Whatever we talk about is the first 20 minutes tops. Then we change. Oh,
I know. Sometimes I said I'll just listen in, and it depends. Like I said, if you've got a room full, But yeah, tonight, hell, I figured why not.
Yeah, about an hour and 22 minutes of just sports.
Yeah, I mean, that's what this has been. We've been talking about sports ball movies for an hour and 20 minutes. We talked more about that than the comic or the Paul Rubens' death. Tomorrow, Tristan has been wanting to debate me about the Barbie movie for a while. She likes it a lot better than I do. So I'm going to be on her channel at 10:30, I guess, in the morning. So check it out. Check it out. I will also, by the way, I will be taking that and hacking it into pieces and putting up as videos here. So you could just wait until it's on this channel. So this is the longest sports talk you've ever had on this channel, says Zach. The sports movies. That's why I couldn't talk to you about the sports themselves. I watched the Super Bowl. That's about it. Otherwise, my exposure to sports is Madden. I play the game. A woman likes the Barbie movie a lot more than a man. Shocking. Yep. All righty. Anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out with us. Thank you very much to RDV and to Eric Breen for helping us out here.
In 20 minutes, we'll be over on Ashton Comics' channel. We'll be talking about Firepower with Zach.
All righty. And you got that? So, as always, thank you very, very much for watching. Have a good night.
Later.
Good night, kids.